City's last as the reigning champions. Unless City win here tonight, the title will finally be in Liverpool's hands. We're in the countdown to kick-off. Stuart Atwell, the referee, blows his whistle, and again the players in their starting positions all drop down onto one knee. And likewise too, Pep Guardiola and Frank Lampard on the edge of their coaching areas. Again, another nod, a significant nod to the Black Lives Matter movement. And the game begins. Chelsea kicking off in the blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks against Manchester City in their fluorescent yellow and salmon pink away kit. So fourth against second in the Premier League, but all around Merseyside, all around the country, all around the world, Liverpool supporters will be watching and listening in to this to see if this is the match that decides the destination of this season's Premier League title. The ball's out of play for a throw into Manchester City. I'll run you through the teams again, just in case you didn't hear them. Before kick-off, Kepa in goal for Chelsea. At the back, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rdiger and Alonso. In midfield, Barkley, Kante and Mount. Kovacic on the bench, as is Loftus-Cheek, with Willian, Christian Pulisic, who scored against Aston Villa at the weekend, and Olivier Giroud up front. And the Manchester City side, as City come forward, I'll run you through it in a moment. Marez on the right hand side, he's got support from Kyle Walker. Marez, who scored 2 goals on Monday night in that comfortable stroll against Burnley at the Etihad, plays it infield. Rodri now forward, but Gundogan stretches, can't reach it, and the ball will just trickle behind for a goal kick. And the Manchester City team tonight then: Ederson, Walker, Fernandinho, Laporte and Mendy are the back four. Rodri and Gundogan in the middle. And I'm just looking, Bernardo Silva currently is the furthest forward through the middle, Sterling on the left, Marez on the right, whereas De Bruyne, Rodri and Gundogan are sort of a midfield three at the moment. Karen Carney.
That's it, we were wondering who was going to play in that 9 role without an out-and-out striker, and it's obviously Bernardo Silva playing there. I think he's just going to come deep and be that kind of extra midfielder, strike forward as well, but Marez and Sterling on the left and Marez on the right, so both on the other flanks, which is a bit bizarre, so they can cut in and potentially link up with Bernardo Silva.
Karen Carney, 144 caps for England, with us for the commentary tonight. Very different conditions to when you and I last did a commentary together, which was back in the winter on a cold afternoon. I think it was at Tottenham, wasn't it, where we were? And now here we are, you've got your shorts on, t-shirt, absolutely sweltering, and we're watching it in an almost totally deserted Stamford Bridge. Blue is very much the colour. Throw into Manchester City halfway inside their own half, and that is intercepted by Christensen. Christensen now towards the edge of the area, but De Bruyne, against one of his former clubs, steps in, just whips the ball away from Christensen, and then hits a pass downfield that Azpilicueta has to be careful with, Sterling behind him to head back to his goalkeeper Kepa. But it's been one of the features, hasn't it, of Project Restart, to see how all of the clubs have dressed up their stadiums, and Chelsea are no different. Giroud in an offside position, free kick to Manchester City. As I say, blue canvases all the way around, and a sort of painted crowd effect in almost every level and every part of the stadium, but also 3-4 big messages to our right. A design of Frank Lampard with his fist raised, Frank Lampard's blue and white army, and then on the lower tier, that flag we often see here, Chelsea FC, the lion rampant, Pride of London. To the left, we've got another banner, Pride of London, with all of the various trophies that Chelsea have collected, as Manchester City have the ball just forward of the centre circle with Rodri, who plays it out towards the right-hand side. Marez is there. Marez just rolling it back now. This is very familiar from Manchester City since the resumption for them. 8 goals without reply in the 2 home matches they've played so far. This is the first time on the road. And City with Walker. Now Walker back to Marez on the right-hand side, left-footed, goes for that curling delivery, but it's cleared away on the edge of the box comfortably by Kante, who is perfectly positioned. And Manchester City will start again as Rodri picks up possession and slips it forward towards Gundogan. David Silva only on the bench tonight. Now it's out on the left-hand side with Raheem Sterling, who had a rest on Monday, into the area to Gundogan. Gundogan with a shot on the turn, which is blocked behind by Christensen, and it is the first corner of the match to Manchester City.
That's why Sterling's coming in off that left-hand side, coming in his stronger right foot. He's just going to try and slip balls through to his attacking midfielders, and he was looking for Bernardo Silva in that instance, and it's gone out for a corner. But that's clearly the game plan, and straight away Chelsea, very, very deep and very compact, trying to make it difficult for City to play through.
Corner that De Bruyne is going to take from the left-hand side, swings it to the near post. That's easily cleared away by Olivier Giroud, who is perfectly positioned. Olivier Giroud, very much the favoured man before the shutdown and since the restart. This is his 7th consecutive start. Top scorer Tammy Abraham, 15 goals this season for Chelsea. Again, among the substitutes, who are actually out of our sight, way down on the bottom tier of the East Stand. We're up high watching Manchester City come forward, ball into the area. Bernardo Silva, he initially miscontrolled it, it bounced back for him, and he rather lamely shot goalwards, and it was like a back pass for Kepa.
It was, again, this is where Manchester City is so strong down the side, and you've seen Kevin De Bruyne on that left-hand side. They create overloads. It's not one, it's two, three players always trying to penetrate. It was a good opportunity, but didn't get connection in. It was easy, handled by Kepa there.
Ball out towards the far side, just bounces, actually it's kept in, but then it's played forward via a deflection off Mendy. Somehow that didn't go out of play either, and Manchester City keep it in and have the ball at the back. And the other message, Karen, on the far side, massive banner in the lower tier of the West Stand, which reads, "Thank you, NHS and key workers," written in white on the Chelsea blue background. And obviously a great message for Chelsea, as Bernardo Silva brings the ball forward on the left-hand side. Bernardo Silva back onto his left foot, absolutely sweltering it is up here near the roof of the East Stand. Cross from Mendy, but he's overhit that and it drifts straight behind over the top of the crossbar for a goal kick. 0-0, Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. And for late-comers, just to remind you that unless Manchester City win this game here tonight, Liverpool will be confirmed as the champions. And Manchester City, Karen Carney, have made the stronger start.
They have, they've dominated possession, they've looked very sharp actually. Chelsea just compact, quite deep. It's going to be difficult with them. I think they're trying to hit them on the counter-attack, so they'll probably not have much possession, you think, but you know, so far City are up for it. They're not going to give that title to Liverpool just too early by the looks of it.
Chelsea with a free kick over on the halfway line. It's swung all the way across here to the left-hand side. Marcos Alonso, the marauding left back, the Spaniard, turns and gives it infield to Mason Mount. Very impressive against Aston Villa. Pat Nevin was telling me the other day, Mason Mount. Ball comes back infield towards Kante, just to the right of the centre circle, then back to Rdiger, and then Rudiger's pass a little behind Alonso, so he has to make ground back, and then use Mason Mount, who wriggles away from Marez and gives the ball to Alonso, and Alonso's cross doesn't beat the first defender, one of the central defenders, Fernandinho, on the edge of the box, the Manchester City captain, in the absence of David Silva, who is on the bench. Here's Sterling now, Sterling, who got the ball rolling with the first goal after restart, but as I say, was rested on Monday night, obviously with this match in mind. So he has made changes, Pep Guardiola, 6 changes for this match, but really it hardly matters which team he puts out from the squad that he has. It's always going to be a strong team. He has Walker down the right hand side, just stumbled, couldn't keep the ball in, actually just slipped there on the well-watered surface, and it's a throw into Chelsea halfway inside their own half. And Manchester City, of course, have got the FA Cup tie against Newcastle on Sunday evening. Chelsea's FA Cup quarter-final is a little earlier Sunday afternoon. You'll hear commentary on those matches here on 5 Live, as well as the Premier League games this weekend. Here now, 0-0 the score. Gundogan to De Bruyne, now to Sterling. Sterling left side of the box. Strong start this from Manchester City. Mendy then drives it across. It's saved by the outstretched left leg of Kepa, and it could have gone anywhere inside the box. It was fortunate that it fell to the feet of Willian, and Chelsea were able to clear.
Again, nice tight play from Manchester City, 1 and 2 touch, and you see the technical detail, get it out wide, Mendy drills it across, and no, that's where the number 9 potentially should be, and that's why they haven't got him out there tonight. But could have just had a tap in for one Manchester City player, but they just weren't in. It was a great ball in from Mendy originally.
Yes, it was, driven low. Now a high ball out to the right-hand side. Marez will do well, even with his great touch. Well, he does get a touch on it, but can do nothing other than deflect it behind for a goal kick to Chelsea. You might be able to hear the carpet of crowd noise behind us. which we've introduced over the course of the last couple of matches, just to provide a bit of texture, I think is another phrase that was used for the commentary. If you prefer the commentary without the crowd noise, you can hear it over on 5 Live Sports Extra on your digital radio or via BBC Sounds. But I know people are pretty much split down the middle on this one, so the suggestion seems to be, so here on 5 Live you can hear it with that gentle hum of the crowd noise on this beautiful evening. I think I haven't heard it. I know yesterday was officially the hottest day of the year so far. Today must have been hotter.
I was fuming. My aircon in my car broke, so wasn't a great day for that. Let's be honest. I was fuming.
Well, I'm not a fan of air conditioning in the car, but even I was almost tempted today to put it on. Here's Kepa, who clears from the 6-yard box towards the halfway line, but over the head of Pulisic, and the ball just drifts out of play. Actually, it's fielded by Frank Lampard down there. He was in conversation for a long time on the pitch side before the match with Pep Guardiola. The two of them having a really long chinwag about, what, an hour and a quarter before the game. And now they're just a few yards apart. Frank Lampard and Pep Guardiola down there. They could, of course, yet meet in the FA Cup this season if they both come through their quarter-finals. Here is Kyle Walker back towards the halfway line. Chelsea, the champions in 2017. Manchester City, the champions in 2018 and 2019. And here's Gundogan turning back onto his right foot. Nice little touch from him. They look so sharp, City. Oh, lovely touch from Sterling. Mendy now into the area. Mendy still going, and then the challenge comes in. Eventually, he very nearly managed to weave his way past Azpilicueta and Christensen, and in the end it was Azpilicueta who just stabbed it behind for a corner.
Having this false 9, Bernardo Silva's not playing, he's just roaming everywhere, and what he's doing is overloading that midfield, so then Chelsea are getting drawn to him, and then they're leaving the wide areas open, and that's where, you know, Mendy's getting a lot of joy down that left-hand side with Sterling. What do you do with Chelsea? It's very, very difficult when they play like this.
De Bruyne raises his right arm, swings it into the near post again. Second consecutive corner. He can't beat the man at the near post. Kante was there to steer it away with his head. Comes back to De Bruyne on the left-hand side. De Bruyne now lifts it into the penalty area. Bernardo Silva nods it across the 6-yard box, but Kepa read his intentions, and the Chelsea goalkeeper sprinted out and caught the ball comfortably.
I mean, what a ball by Kevin De Bruyne there. He's reversed past it. This is probably the best midfielder in the world at the moment, isn't he? Finding Bernardo Silva, made a late run in behind. Just got away from him there to get the shot off, but great pass. Nice
combination between Giroud and Pulisic. Pulisic then to the right-hand side. Azpilicueta's ball into the area. Willian on the right. Willian pulls it across. Oh, it very nearly ran for Mason Mount, and it needed that covering slide to put it behind by İlkay Gundogan. He was sliding back towards his own goal, but was able to steer it wide. And Chelsea have their first corner as the home team, without a home crowd, attack towards the famous Shed stand to our left. Willian with the outswinger. Here it is to the near post. Fernandinho is there to head it away, but only to the edge of the area where Mount snatched at it on the volley, and it landed in the front row of the top tier of the Shed.
Yeah, it was an ambitious effort. He watched it the whole way down, but just connected, didn't get himself over the ball. He's gone very high into that Shed stand. So that was more better by Chelsea. You know, trying to get on the counter-attack, catch Manchester City out when they've got numbers forward, especially Willian with his pace and Pulisic. That's what they're going to have to do if they're trying to catch Manchester City out.
Temperature is, for watching football, is absolutely glorious. It'll be just like this, Karen, when you get to Australia and New Zealand for that Women's World Cup. Every match will be like this. Just you wait. Here's Gundogan. Rodri now to the right-hand side, but it's blocked out by Alonso for a throw-in for Manchester City. We heard Dion, didn't we? Dion Dublin making a very blatant play to get back on the Women's World Cup beat in Australia and New Zealand during the earlier commentary with Vicky. I'm sure he'll be there. And Manchester City have it on the halfway line. Little ball forward towards Bernardo Silva, who goes back into his own half.
Just looking at the Manchester City build-up, they don't even have anyone occupying Chelsea's two centre-backs. They don't have a number 9. He's just roaming. He's causing issues again because the back line of Chelsea don't know whether to go with him or just to stay, and then they're getting ran over in midfield. It's really difficult. You know, you saw Pep do it at Barcelona with Lionel Messi in the early stage of his career and caused havoc.
Well, Kepa's clearance didn't clear Riyad Mahrez, who was able to head it back into the penalty area, and Bernardo Silva was very nearly in, but Chelsea have been able to block it from him, and Chelsea play it forward, and Fernandinho is there. Kante then pulls the ball down, and Chelsea have it halfway inside their own half. Kante to the right-hand side to Azpilicueta, and then Kante again goes backwards to his central defenders. Yes, whenever I work with a central defender and we have this sort of scenario, it's always really interesting to hear them say what it's like as a central defender when you're not occupied. And at the moment it is little Bernardo Silva, who is furthest forward, but I mean he's some distance away from Christensen and Rdiger, who's on the ball at the moment. Marez arrives on the scene. It's Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. After the earlier matches, our earlier commentary games on 5 Live and Sports Extra finished Burnley 1, Watford 0, and Southampton 0, Arsenal 2. So both of them picking up their first points since the restart. And I'm sure we'll have some interviews and reaction to those matches at half-time in this match, when we'll also be back with our Liverpool supporters, I would imagine, on the Zoom call to see how they're feeling about things. But strange experience for them. This the first time after all of the waiting, the first night when it can happen for Liverpool. Here is Pulisic now, nicely brought down on the top of his thigh, but then the attempted pass in field was blocked by De Bruyne, and Manchester City should clear from deep inside their own half. Back it goes to Walker, who plays it back into the 6-yard box, and Ederson now turns and strokes the ball to Mendy, and Manchester City just knocking it around inside their own half. Manchester City 23 points behind Liverpool after Liverpool's excellent display last night. Some of the goals that Liverpool scored last night were something else, Karen.
Oh, unreal, weren't they? Fabinho's one was special. That's a holding midfielder. And pulling out an assist as well, and a goal.
Here is Mendy on the left-hand side. Mendy up against Azpilicueta. Mendy turns, gives it back to Gundogan. Gundogan out there on the left wing for Manchester City. The challenge comes in on him, and referee Atwell says that's a free kick. Just a little heavy, the challenge.
I think he just caught him late, didn't he?
Azpilicueta is very much pleading his innocence. Palms wide apart, chuntering away, but it is a free kick out on the left.
And Chelsea have been vulnerable from set plays, you know, in this season. I think 4th worst from set play, so this is an opportunity for Manchester City with a good delivery. The delivery's been poor so far from both sides.
So the free kick, De Bruyne makes his way out there. He would deliver the in-swinger. Marez, though it is, who delivers the outswinger to the near post. A glancing header from Fernandinho, and a very smart save by Kepa at the near post. Just a little glance of the head, it was bang on target, and Kepa had to and did make the save.
It's a wonderful save from Kepa there. I don't know how Fernandinho, I think Ross Bartley's looking round, he got in front and ran across the near post. He's just got ahead. The delivery was fantastic, the pace on it, he just got a glance on the header, and in the end it was a good, comfortable save from Kepa. Initially I thought it was going in the corner, but watching the replay it was down the middle. But again, like I said, Chelsea very vulnerable from set plays. They need to mark up and stay with their runners.
Yes, it was underneath the crossbar, just had to help it over the top, but it was travelling. Lovely feathered touch, the glancing header. So it's a corner from the right this time, in it comes, and it's headed away by Rdiger, just outside the 6-yard box. And Manchester City, through Gundogan, go all the way back to Ederson. So Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. This is a scoreline that, were it to finish this way, that would be enough for Liverpool to be confirmed as the champions tonight. Manchester City have got to win the game to deny Liverpool tonight. And of course, the next Premier League match for Manchester City and for Liverpool is, as we now know, at the Etihad next Thursday night, should it come to that, when Manchester City and Liverpool play each other. I think sensible decision today, Karen, for the council to agree that match will be played at the Etihad.
I'm sure everyone will be looking forward to that game.
Yes, here's Pulisic for Chelsea, halfway inside their own half, back to Alonso. Alonso forward towards Pulisic, and the The American plays it into the Manchester City half, but Mount can't get there, and Fernandinho's there again. Looks so sharp, Manchester City again.
They do. They're just moving the ball really, really sharp and quick. And, you know, Chelsea are quite defensive. They're nice and compact and deep, but as soon as they go and press, that's when Manchester City pop it out, and it's very, very difficult. But I think Lampard will be pleased so far. They haven't really had too many chances, City.
Bernardo Silva, a little deeper now, teases the ball to the feet of Marez, just next to the white line on the right-hand side, just a few yards away from where Pep Guardiola, looking the picture of summer in a rather faded white t-shirt and his favourite sort of grey brownie casual trousers, watching City come forward. Walker on the right-hand side to Rodri. Now Laporte, who's joined in as well, halfway inside the Chelsea half, goes to the left-hand side. Manchester City dominating the ball, dominating possession in these opening 20 minutes now played. Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. But the one real chance so far, the glancing header from Fernandinho that was pushed over the crossbar by Kepa, whereas at the other end, Mount did have that chance but snatched at the volley and sent it high over the crossbar. So it remains goalless here at Stamford Bridge in West London. Gundogan back to Laporte. Now Laporte rolls the pass forward to Mendy, cuts it back infield towards Rodri. Rodri on his right foot, thinks about it, thought about it quite a while, and that meant that Kante was able to close him down and block the shot straight up into the air. Barkley with a header. He's come back into the Chelsea team for this game, Ross Barkley. Kovacic on the bench tonight. Manchester City coming forward again. The crossfield pass is deflected by Giroud. Chelsea having to work hard on this warm night without the ball, and Manchester City going back towards the halfway line. We'll have a drinks break in a minute or two for them to have a little breather. And if ever the drinks break was designed for a set of circumstances, Karen, I think it's these circumstances that we find here tonight.
It is, and I think more so for Chelsea. Manchester City just moving it. They're trying to tire Chelsea out. I think Frank Lampard will be keen to get them in and have a little chat and maybe tweak a little things. They're just getting ran too much, and if they keep doing that for 90 minutes, you know, it's going to be very hard in these conditions tonight.
Still 0-0 between Chelsea and Manchester City. Rodri manages to come out with the ball in between Willian and Giroud. Now here's Gundogan. Gundogan looks up, tall and upright with his beard, and then forward towards Marez in a more central position, and Marez going in between Kante and Barkley is just clipped by one of them. Down he goes, free kick forward of the centre circle to Manchester City.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a free kick. I think Ross Bartley was unlucky there.
And we won't see the free kick just yet, which is again bizarre. You just expect now from that position, you know, which is a positive place to have a free kick. Instead, the ball gets left exactly where the free kick's going to be taken, but we've got a drinks break.
I'm just looking at the Chelsea bench now. Jody Morris is speaking to Frank Lampard and saying they need to get a bit more tighter in that midfield. Just getting overran and also a little bit too deep as well. They've got to get up. I know it's very difficult against Manchester City because they're such a top team, and you know what do? Do you go and press them, you get pot round, do you go deep, and then you don't really cause an attacking threat? It's challenging, but I think they've got to be a little bit more braver and believe in themselves.
Excellent ovation there from the imaginary crowd for the drinks break. One of the best imaginary...
Crowd are loving it.
They are absolutely loving it. One of the best drinks break the imaginary crowd has ever seen. It is Chelsea 0, Manchester City 0. And, you know, you'll have played, Karen, in these sort of conditions when it's as hot as this, presumably at the tournaments mainly, and you know, give us an idea how much that can take out of you.
It's just, I remember at the World Cup last year walking out even just to warm up and think, oh my god, I don't even need to warm up, it's that hot, and you just try and conserve so much energy. And that's why I'm thinking for Chelsea, you know, chasing and hunting impacts, it's very difficult. They've got to be smart in this instance because it's a long game in this heat, and against Manchester City as well, you have to be smart and box clever.
I mean, the coaches absolutely love this. It's like a timeout, isn't it? And Pep Guardiola.
Oh, he's in his element.
He's absolutely in his element.
Surprised he hasn't got the tactics board out and, you know, doing a full-on session. You know how he loves it.
Well, Kevin Friend had a job there to get him off the field. And did you notice Rdiger accidentally on purpose, just walking right past Guardiola and just giving him a little nudge as he did so. Right, it's that free kick then to resume play. Let's hope the concentration is all there for Chelsea, as De Bruyne actually plays it square. Now to Marez on the right-hand side. Marez up against Pulisic, and then Marez finds De Bruyne on his left foot. He shoots, but it's right into the back of Alonso. It bounces to Walker. Walker curls it into the back post. Fernandinho is up there. The referee spotted an infringement, a push by Fernandinho. Free kick, Chelsea.
Ross Bartley there just got pushed from Fernandinho. He managed to flick it away regardless, but he got pushed in the back, so it's a good decision from the ref there.
And Pep Guardiola was all animation, wasn't he? The instructions, this suggestion in his interviews that they've maybe taken their eye off the ball in the Premier League. I don't think we should believe a word of that. This Manchester City side, Guardiola, they want to win every match that they play, and they've had some great contests with Chelsea in recent seasons. It was a very good game earlier this season. Manchester City won it by 2-1 before Christmas at the Etihad Stadium. Kante scored in that game, you might remember. But 0-0 here tonight, a scoreline that would be good enough to confirm Liverpool as the champions tonight. And if that's the case, we've got all sorts of things planned later in the evening to herald that happening. Might be tonight, might be next week, we'll see. Here is Ederson, just walking out of his penalty area, the Manchester City goalkeeper, after his 2 clean sheets to restart the season. Ederson's on 11 Premier League clean sheets. Alisson is top of the tree at the moment after his clean sheet last night, which must have been one of the easiest clean sheets of his career. He's got 12, so he's one ahead of his closest challengers at the moment in the race, if it is such a thing, for the Golden Glove. Manchester City losing possession, and Chelsea have got it back in front of their own penalty area, and Christensen turns it back to goalkeeper Kepa. To Kante. Now to the right-hand side. Azpilicueta bringing it forward. Willian. Now that's a good ball from Willian. Switching it from right to left into the space for Alonso. Alonso's ball across a stretch, not cleared. Bounces to Barkley. Barkley's shot clips the calves of Fernandinho, which carries it wide of the near post for a Chelsea corner. Their best move, their best moment of the night.
It's quality. Started from the goalkeeper, played into midfield, into Kante. That was on about. They've been brave. Played it back out wide, back in again and switched it to the other side, and got a little bit of joy there from Ross Bartley taking the shot. But that's much better from Chelsea. Being positive, being brave. That's what Frank Lampard wants from them.
Corner taken short by Chelsea, Willian and Pulisic, and then Pulisic plays it in. It's headed down and away by Rdiger for Manchester City. And Kante, finding himself under pressure from Marez, turns and plays the ball all the way back to goalkeeper Kepa again. So no Aguero for Manchester City tonight, as you'll probably be aware. He's now had a knee operation. No Phil Foden either this evening, who did have a little bit of a thigh problem the other night, so he's not involved. Joao Cancelo's not involved either, not on the bench. John Stones still not returning, but still a very strong Manchester City substitutes lineup this evening when we start to see all of the changes being made. David Silva among the substitutes this evening, as Walker plays the ball across to Laporte, and now to the left-hand side again. Pep Guardiola changing his fullbacks this evening, so Mendy and Walker are the two who are starting for Manchester City this evening. Chelsea back in possession inside their own box. Rdiger with a little touch there. Kepa had set off to his left, had it on his right foot. Long clearance over the halfway line to Willian, who, like Pedro, has now signed a contract until the end of this season, whenever that is, for Chelsea. They were due to be out of contract at the end of this month. Willian, this is his 331st appearance for Chelsea. That is a long career with some great highs in it for the little Brazilian, who I saw was deep in conversation with Ederson and Fernandinho, his Brazilian international colleagues, before the game. Manchester City back in possession just in front of where Guardiola's standing with his arms folded at the moment. 0-0 the score. BBC Radio 5 live from an almost deserted Stamford Bridge as the sun sets towards the horizon, and Bernardo Silva brings it up to the edge of the area, gives it to Sterling, who's on the right hand side. Christensen stands up tall and does well, actually, just sees the ball behind off Raheem Sterling for a goal kick to Chelsea, still goalless.
Good defending there from Christensen, used his body well, nudged Sterling off and ushered it out for a goal kick. But it's better from Chelsea when they're a bit more patient and they take time on the ball. They're a bit rushed in the first 20 minutes. So Frank Lampard telling them, calm down, relax, play Manchester City at their own game, be comfortable in possession. That's what they've started to do now.
Beautiful sunset we can see, Karen, beyond the roof of the Matthew Harding stand. It almost matches the shirts of Manchester City, the yellow and the pink. A beautiful, beautiful evening in the city. And it's throwing to Chelsea halfway inside their own half that Alonso is going to take. They've weathered a bit of a storm, Chelsea. Half an hour played now, still goalless. And Chelsea going all the way back to Kepa, who touches the ball across his penalty area and just taps it to the right-hand side to the Danish right-sided central defender Christensen. And now Azpilicueta. Back it comes to Christensen. He knocks it across the penalty area. And Chelsea will walk it forward from inside their own box.
Again, John, it's important that Chelsea keep doing this, just moving it in and around the back. Why? Because they're resting in possession. They're not chasing. That's what Manchester City do. They keep the ball and they rest while they're in possession.
Well, another lovely flick from Giroud on the halfway line. Mount has asked an awful lot of that ball down the right-hand side for Pulisic, and he doesn't get there. He's beaten to it by Mendy, who's such an athlete as well. And Mendy clears it out of play for a throw-in near the halfway line.
But again, really good from Chelsea. Patient in the build-up, taking their time. Manchester City getting drawn out, and then they're just hitting them with some pace in behind. It's really good.
Another lovely flick we saw there from Giroud. He tries it again now near the edge of the penalty area, but it doesn't work, and Manchester City will come forward. Chelsea have committed players downfield, so there could be space here for Manchester City. De Bruyne takes it on. De Bruyne now towards the edge of the penalty area, knocks it to his left to Gundogan. Gundogan into the box on his right foot, then he angles it back to De Bruyne, but Mount was perfectly positioned to step in and just take the ball away from Kevin De Bruyne, who's slightly on his heels there, actually. I'm not sure he was expecting it from Gundogan, but Chelsea have survived that little scare, and now they themselves come forward. And Willian to Barkley on the left-hand side. Barkley across to the near post, and a sliding effort is blocked by combination of goalkeeper and defender. Still Chelsea. Mount, Giroud back to Mount. Mount pulls it right across. Barkley's there at the back post, and there's no offside flag. His effort from the angle was blocked behind by Fernandinho around the near post, but all of the Manchester City players are looking towards the assistant, but there is no offside flag.
I know, I can't believe that. I thought he was well offside, but again, wonderful play from Chelsea, moving it nice and quick. Ross Barkley really busting a gut to get forward, had the opportunity, come back out, little cross, fell to Mount, give a 1-2, and it just didn't fall for him, and that's where Frank Lampard will be annoyed. That final ball, that execution.
Here's the corner in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed down. What a save that is on the line by Ederson. And I mean, that was from almost point blank range. It was Christensen who got his head to it, and on the line it was quite close to him, but it still demanded a full reaction save, and Manchester City's goalkeeper obliged.
I think Christensen saw it quite late. Ball was great, whipped in, and I don't know, he just didn't get enough power on it and himself. There was pace on it, but he had to execute a little bit more, and he just didn't really believe in that header, and then it was just right at Ederson. It was a comfortable save in the end. It was a big opportunity though. When you're in that box free against Manchester City, you have to take that chance.
Never scored for Chelsea, Christensen, and this is his 94th appearance, and there won't have been too many better chances than that. But as you say, Karen, just think he saw it just late.
I mean, even 2 yards to the right or left and it's a goal, but you know, Frank Lampard's looking, clapping, thinking this is more my team now, more Chelsea that I want to see.
Liverpool supporters everywhere, I'm sure, holding their breath that stayed out of the net. But it is still a scoreline, this 0-0, that would do for Liverpool. Shouts for handball against Gundogan, but it was on the blind side of referee Stuart Atwell, and Manchester City keep possession, actually go back into their own half. Gundogan again, challenged by Giroud. Referee says play on. Might have just caught him there, Giroud on Gundogan, but Manchester City still have it. And Laporte looks forward, but there's absolutely no one there at the moment through the middle at all for Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne is the furthest forward at the moment, and even then you just saw that between Rdiger and Christensen. You know, they've got a vast area themselves with no one in a yellow and pink shirt. Walker is just eased over by Willian down the right, and it's a free kick to Manchester City from wide out on the right this time.
Yeah, it's a silly foul to give away from Willian. Just stay on your feet. You're just as quick as Walker. It's giving away a free kick now, as we're seeing Chelsea look vulnerable from set plays, especially from wide areas with the delivery from De Bruyne and Marez. Don't want to be giving away those fouls in silly areas.
10 minutes to go to half-time. It's either De Bruyne or Marez. De Bruyne standing at right angles from the ball. Marez actually standing with 2 feet off the pitch at the moment. Packed penalty area. Marez runs over it. It's De Bruyne with a delivery this time to the back post, headed away. Rdiger got there first for Chelsea, in between at least a couple of Manchester City players. Oh, and then indecision on the halfway line, and Pulisic could take advantage. Pulisic past Mendy, into the area and scores! Tucks it past Ederson, and Chelsea take the lead. 2 Manchester City players collided on the halfway line. Pulisic seized on the ball, ran from the halfway line, tucked it away beautifully. Chelsea have the lead, and Liverpool supporters the world over think tonight could be their night. Chelsea winning 1-0 against Manchester City here at Stamford Bridge.
Oh, what a goal. Pulisic, the desire, the hunger, it actually came from that wide free kick. The wide free kick came in, it got cleared out, and there was just an error between 2 defenders back. I think, just looking at that, was Rdiger and Mendy just didn't communicate, and then Pulisic just toes it past them, uses his pace. And it's shocking defending. Mendy dives in, Pulisic beats him, and then it's all about the finish. He's one-on-one, slots it into the bottom right-hand corner. It's a wonderful finish, but all about the desire, the pace, the hunger. He's ran from past the halfway line to get that goal, and Frank Lampard is absolutely buzzing.
Chelsea 1, Manchester City 0, on a night where if Manchester City fail to win, Liverpool will be the champions. And as of now, Manchester City are losing. And an uncharacteristic sort of mistake by them was Mendy and, I'm not sure if it was Rodri or Gundogan.
It's Gundogan, yeah, just watching the replay now, yeah.
On the halfway line, the two of them, just a breakdown in communication, but how smart from Pulisic, who then took it away and actually beat Mendy again, who was quick enough to get back, but Pulisic just pulled away from him again.
It's just terrible defending. Sorry, just watching.
Marez into the penalty area, goes down. He was just caught late there. I'm not sure whether the ball had gone, but Alonso did catch him, and it's a free kick to Manchester City in the Chelsea left-back area.
Again, yeah, Marez went looking for that. Just got to be smart there, Alonso. You've just scored a goal 5 or so 6 minutes before half-time, potentially. Just be smart. Don't give away these free kicks in these wide areas. Although they did score from it a minute ago, so maybe it's a plan that I don't know about.
6 minutes or so to go of the first 45 plus added time.
John, I'd love to see Liverpool now, what it's like. I'd love to be a fly on the wall there.
Be lively. It'll be lively. I notice on our screen here we had one of those zoom shots of supporters, Liverpool fans, who were celebrating. Free kick then for City. De Bruyne back to Marez. Marez drives it, but it's over the angle of post and bar. He got good contact on that, but he just couldn't keep it down, and it flew over the top corner.
Great effort there. You thought he was going to whip it in with his left foot, and he ran over, and then De Bruyne just tapped it with his right foot, and then Marez tried to curl it into that top corner, just got too much pace on it and just went over. And Chelsea now just having a nice breathe. See Frank Lampard take your time, Kepa in this goal kick.
Half-time approaching, Chelsea leading by 1-0. A scoreline that would see Liverpool as champions tonight. Manchester City would have to turn the match around. And as you're probably aware, that hasn't happened too often since the restart, although Chelsea themselves did it at Villa Park on Sunday when they came from 1-0 down to win the match 2-1, a match in which Pulisic also scored. So 2 goals in the 2 matches since the restart for Pulisic. That is now 8 this season, his first as a Chelsea player, and what a good finish it was as well. Sped away as Ederson came out. He just dispatched it, Karen.
Oh, he's been really, really sharp. Very, very sharp. Again, he's just got on the ball, switched the play there.
To Willian, and Willian now down the right-hand side to Azpilicueta. Chelsea sweeping forward. The cross is deflected by Mendy and bounces for Gundogan on the halfway line, who clears it.
But John, do you know what I think the turning point was? That drinks break. because Manchester City were absolutely in control, were dominating, causing havoc, had that drinks break, and then Frank Lampard got him in. Jody Morris had a little chat to him, and then Chelsea came out and have been the better side in that second kind of period since that break.
It's a great point, Karen. You know, the things like that can quite dramatically change the game of football. You know, it gives it a completely different perspective to have, as we said, you know, a timeout, chance for the coaches just to have a word. And Manchester City coming forward with De Bruyne. Now back to Marez, who plays it across the edge of the penalty area, but Chelsea, who've been lifted by that opening goal of the match, Christensen, who should have scored himself to put Chelsea ahead from the corner, to Willian, but Willian turns and goes back into his own half. So Manchester City have conceded for the first time since the restart. And now here's Pulisic. Pulisic approaching the penalty area, the goal scorer, gets the ball back from Giroud. Pulisic then with a pass which actually rolls in between Willian and Mendy, who both left it. And then Mendy was able to get there first.
His confidence now, Pulisic's gone up, hasn't it? And he's trying to find Giroud, who's that pinpoint 9, just getting it into him and then getting the 1-2s back. But Pulisic and Giroud linking up very, very well. But the confidence from the American is flying now, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And conversely, Guardiola, Manchester City, they'll be furious with the way that they've conceded that goal. So cheap.
He sat down straight away, you know, he kind of usually sits down, it's a bit of a sulk, you know, because it's an error. It's a big error. You know, Pulisic did unbelievably well, but it's an error. It's shocking. The defending, if you watch it back, it's terrible defending from Mendy. Dives in, gets beat again. Not good. Yeah.
After the error, Pulisic still had an awful lot to do, but the initial error was a bad one. The confusion between Mendy and Gundogan. Gundogan, now Sterling, back to Rodri. Rodri, now to the right-hand side, to Walker, who allowed the ball run, and has support there from Bernardo Silva. Now back to Rodri. Gundogan, heavy touch, but he managed to find Marez. De Bruyne, 25 yards out. Blue shirts, a line of them in front of him. So as the challenge comes in, has to go back to Rodri. Now Marez, who's out towards the left-hand side, unusually. Mendy, back to Marez, left corner of the box. Marez, still there, but Chelsea have got everyone behind the ball in their defensive third, in front of the almost deserted Matthew Harding stand. Mendy now on the left-hand side, flashes the ball right across the penalty area. Walker angles it back across, but couldn't find a Manchester City teammate. And Alonso was able to clear for Chelsea for a throw.
And that's where you miss that number 9, Aguero, Jesus. No good putting balls across the box, zipping it in like Mendy just did if no one is there, just to get that simple tap in. And that's the way up of playing this false 9. You can go roam and be a centre midfielder, but you have to be in that penalty area when those balls are played across for those tap-ins. If
you've just switched on to us on 5 Live, it's the commentary from Stamford Bridge. Chelsea are leading Manchester City by 1-0. And this, remember, is the match that Manchester City have to win. Otherwise, Liverpool will be confirmed as the champions tonight. And Chelsea are leading through Christian Pulisic's 36th minute goal. Manchester City in possession with Rodri. Now here's Walker. Walker back to Laporte. And then Laporte. Mendy has space on the left-hand side, already flashed a couple of balls across the Chelsea box. This one's a high one, all the way into the opposite full-back position. Mahrez is underneath it. He's there with Alonso, though, and Alonso, after the two of them tangled together and challenged for the ball, Alonso comes out with it and clears it out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City, level with the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. Back it goes to Fernandinho, and now to Laporte. Laporte, Mendy, again Chelsea just standing off him, Barkley and Willian. So Mendy slips it between them to Sterling, not really been able to get into the game. Raheem Sterling, De Bruyne, back to Laporte. Now Fernandinho again, all of the play once again inside the Chelsea half. Walker approaching the penalty area. Walker then back to Bernardo Silva, and now Fernandinho again. Manchester City teasing Chelsea from side to side. Gundogan, touch from Rodri. It's one of those moves where most of the Manchester City players have had a touch. And now Laporte back to the left-hand side. De Bruyne is on the left wing at the moment. De Bruyne teasing one way and the other. Here's a cross towards the back post, but It comes off a Chelsea head, but I think it had already gone out of play from De Bruyne, so it's a goal kick to Chelsea, who lead by 1-0.
You know what, they've been, for the last 20 odd minutes, since, like I said, since that drinks break, they've been the better side, Chelsea. They look more confident as well now. They rode the storm early on, and defensively they've been superb. How many times has Kepa been called upon? That headed glance from the free kick, maybe, that one save. Chelsea have had the goal and a couple more chances, so I think Liverpool fans will be delighted that they've been the better side.
Chelsea, who went into the suspension in good form. Remember their last match before the stoppage was the handsome win against Carlo Ancelotti's Everton here, when they won by 4-0. They knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup as well, and then started with the win at Aston Villa, and now here they are winning against the defending champions. 2 minutes of added time we see from Kevin Friend with his electronic board, and Chelsea with the goal scorer Pulisic 10 yards inside Manchester City territory to Alonso, and then Alonso uses Pulisic, who goes back into his own half, and Rdiger will turn and pass the ball all the way back into the Chelsea penalty area. Kepa, for all of the Manchester City possession, he's made that one save from the glancing Fernandinho header, but that's it really, other than coming and taking crosses.
I think, like I said, Chelsea have been superb. Frank Lampard will be delighted. You know, I think Pep Guardiola will be really disappointed how his team have defended and have been sloppy perhaps in possession, especially in the latter part of this first half. And more importantly, they need to, if you're going to play with a false nine, you have to get someone in the penalty area when crosses are coming in, because they could have had 2 goals himself if there was someone in there just to tap it in. But he'll be disappointed because the goal has come from a massive error between Gundogan and Mendy.
So at the moment, not really working tonight without an out-and-out centre forward. As high pass is above Marez's head and straight out of play. You might have heard it smacking into the advertising hoardings in front of the East Stand, way down below us, for a throw into Chelsea halfway inside their own half. And really, you know, we've not seen enough of Bernardo Silva. We've not seen enough of Sterling, certainly.
I think Bernardo Silva's done all right. He's gone looking for the ball. He's tried to go into dangerous areas. I think, to be fair, Pep will be pleased with him, but we haven't seen enough of Sterling. We probably haven't seen enough of Marez. They're your match winners. They're your 1v1. They're going to beat a player, and that's what they need tonight. Someone just a bit of magic to beat one of the Chelsea players. Looks
like Chelsea are going to go in with the lead at half-time. 2 minutes of added time are almost up. Manchester City free kick, though, one last chance for them at the end of the first half. Fired long by Walker to the edge of the area, headed down, and there is the half-time whistle. And Chelsea taking the lead in the 36th minute against the run of play, and it all came from an error, a collision, a misunderstanding between Gundogan and Mendy on the halfway line. But boy, did Pulisic take advantage of that to score the goal, even though he had an awful lot to do from the halfway line. And the two sets of players head off towards their respective dressing rooms. Manchester City are heading towards the Matthew Harding corner next to the East Stand. They're being led down the tunnel there by Pep Guardiola, whereas the Chelsea players head towards their usual dressing room way down below us. But Chelsea leading, Karen.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved Chelsea. First 20 minutes, Manchester City did get in their rhythm, but then had that break and Chelsea regathered and started to believe in themselves more, started to be bolder, braver in possession, and then got the goal. Yes, it was a mistake, but Pulisic was outstanding in his desire and hunger to make something out of nothing, and the finish was top draw. Something, you know, he'll be chuffed with it. I bet he can't wait to watch that back later.
So there we are, big scoreline at half-time for Chelsea, huge scoreline at half-time for Liverpool. Chelsea 1-0 up against Manchester City here at Stamford Bridge.
And we will hear from some Liverpool fans very, very shortly, potentially 45 minutes away from confirmation of your 19th league title and the first since 1990. John Murray and Karen Carney at Stamford Bridge. Where does that error come from, Karen? Because it is so unlike Manchester City. Is it concentration? What?
It's communication. Concentration, yes, and communication. You probably see, we've all spoke about it, it's been all season, that company, that leader, that someone that's just going to demand, and I don't really see enough leaders. Even after the goal, I don't see enough someone picking you up and rallying the Manchester City side. But that error was a lack of communication between Mendy and Gundogan, and Pulisic just came through and took control and then finished it off. But even the goal, they've looked deflated. They started off really bright, Manchester City, but they just don't have that leader. They don't have Vincent Kompany. They don't have that type of person to drag them through when they need to.
I mean, he is still very much a kid, is Christian Pulisic, but he's starting to look like exactly the kind of player they need, isn't he? He's only 21, 2 goals in 2 games now, and he still had a lot to do, actually, with this one.
It was well within his own half, and it was the reaction to think, hold on a minute, they're not going to deal with it. He nipped past it, and he's had to get past Mendy again. And then it's just the composure there where he's in front of goal. He still had a lot to do. He's still quite a bit out, and then to slot it into that far corner. But what I think is a confidence player, Pulisic. And by playing tonight, you've seen how much that start probably meant to him. You've seen from the celebration how much it meant to him. And since the goal, you saw his confidence just go on another level, and he starts to come in field, pulling off of Giroud, being a bit more creative. He's a confidence player, so that will do him absolute wonders moving forward.
Karen, John, thank you very much for the time being. So if it stays like this, Chelsea 4th place in the Premier League, but they will have almost caught Leicester City in 3rd. They'll be a point behind them, and at the top of the league, the gap will be 23 points with 21 left to play for. Liverpool 45 minutes away. They will win the title tonight unless Manchester City come from behind to win at Stamford Bridge in the second half. And of course, we'll have you back there for full second half commentary. Coming up, we're going to hear from the Burnley manager Sean Dyche after Burnley's win over Watford. We'll also hear from Mikel Arteta after Arsenal beat Southampton. We'll get the news first on 5 Live.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
With the BBC News on 5 Live, I'm Oliver Jones. The government's chief medical advisor has warned that cases of coronavirus will start rising again if people abandon social distancing guidelines. The comments from Professor Chris Whitty come after hundreds of thousands of people went to British beaches today. Tobias Elwood is the Conservative MP for Bournemouth East, where the crowds were so big, local authorities declared a major incident.
We need to recognise that this is still an enduring emergency, and it's very sad to see a number of people being so selfish, but also acting dangerously as well. We've done well to get through the peak, but all of that could be so easily undone.
Rebecca Long-Bailey, who ran against Sir Keir Starmer for the Labour leadership, has been sacked as his shadow education secretary. It's after she shared what he said was an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. Mike Katz, who chairs the Jewish Labour movement, welcomes the move.
We have been demanding on behalf of our own members in the wider Jewish community for action, not words. And under the previous leadership, all we got was words, more words, but no action to actually tackle the toxic culture of anti-Semitism that developed. And so we're glad to see that action has finally been taken.
2 Metropolitan Police officers have been suspended over allegations that inappropriate photos were shared from the scene where 2 sisters were murdered. The bodies of Bieber Henry and Nicole Smallman were found in a park in Wembley earlier this month. Scotland Yard says claims that non-official pictures have been taken were deeply disturbing if proven true. Care homes in Scotland, which are free of COVID-19, will be able to accept visitors from the 3rd of July. Residents will be able to see one named guest, providing their home hasn't had a case of the infection for 28 days. But they will have to stay outdoors and wear a face mask. The Danish Prime Minister is postponing her wedding so she can attend an EU summit. Mette Frederiksen says she has to do her job and protect Denmark's interests, but is looking forward to marrying an amazing man in the future.
Reshaping our society.
We collaborate. This is great.
Many of us continue to hope that our world will become still better, fairer, more stable and peaceful.
Reimagining life day to day.
The future depends on how we react to fear and disruptions of today.
Rethinking what we want the future to be.
Is it possible something of real and enduring value could emerge?
Rethink, a series of ideas, discussions and shows on the BBC, exploring how we could change after COVID-19.
I'm Chris Mason and I'd love to know what you think.
Rethink, what do you think?
Sunday night at 10 on BBC Radio 4 and on 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sport
With Steve Crossman.
Evening, welcome back to 5 Live Sport. We'll hear from some Liverpool fans shortly. They must be sweating now because they are 45 minutes away from winning their first ever Premier League title, their first title full stop since 1990. Manchester City trail 1-0 at Chelsea in a game that they have to win to stop Liverpool winning the league this evening. Watford's hopes of staying in the Premier League have been dealt a blow. They lost 1-0 to Burnley at Turf Moor earlier. Watford stay 16th. They're just a point above the relegation zone. Here's their manager, Nigel Pearson.
It's disappointing for us, but we've got no time to dwell on these situations. We've got to recover from tonight and make sure that we're ready for the next game now.
And there is a lot of talk, and the suggestion is, the feeling is that Watford under you will survive. Is that something you welcome in the scenario you find yourselves in, or would you rather people just didn't talk about it?
I can't stop people from talking. Look, we've worked hard to get a really good chance. That's all we've got at the moment, you know. So from where we were, we've fought back into contention, but if there is any complacency about feeling that the job is done, not a chance of that. We realise that in relegation battles there will be ebbs and flows, and sometimes you've got to be prepared to drop back into the, you have to deal with dropping back into the bottom three. It's really about keeping your nerve. It's about trying to get a level of performance from the players which is consistently high, and if you do that, you've got a much better chance of avoiding relegation. But we are realistic. We know we're in a dogfight, a scrap, and we've got to be up for the challenge and be able to deal with situations like tonight. So disappointment of tonight is, we feel it, but can't be feeling it for too long because the game's, we've got a game coming up pretty quickly, so we've got to get on with it.
Nigel Pearson there with Gary Flintoff. Burnley, by the way, move up to 11th after that victory. Arsenal got their first win since the Premier League restart. 2-0 victory for them at Southampton. Eddie Nketiah got the first after an awful error by Southampton keeper Alex McCarthy, just passed the ball to him. Joe Willett got the second in the 86th minute. Our reporter Andy Gillies spoke to the Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta after the game.
Mikel, I've written down here that when you're struggling, you sometimes need a bit of luck, and you got a bit of luck tonight with that opening goal, didn't you?
Well, I don't think that's luck. I think that's the consistency of what we demand to the players, to be really aggressive, to be in the front foot, to press the keeper, and we did it. And we had another 2 chances by doing that, I think. But yes, it was a scrappy goal. We had other opportunities as well to go ahead on the result, and we didn't put the opportunities, but I'm really happy with the win.
I asked Joe Willock, who scored the second goal, of course, whether you've been angry this week after the result at Brighton, and he said yes, he's been angry, but he's been cool and calm and explaining to us what we have to do.
Yes, I was angry just for the fact the way we competed the last 10 minutes against Brighton, because we throw the game away and we give them the points. If they earn it and they are better than us, of course you accept it, you work harder, you try to fix things, but we cannot give the opponents that much. And the players' reaction was fantastic. I know they were hurt. It took them 72 hours to digest that one, because it's been really tough to be at home for 3 months with everything that they wanted to do when we were coming back, and to assume those 2 defeats was hard. They reacted, and I'm really happy with them.
Arsenal on 43 points after that win, so they're 9th in the table, but you have to wonder if the damage might already have been done for their European ambitions. They are 6 behind Manchester United in 5th place. 85058 at 5 Live Sport to get in touch with us tonight. Really want to hear from Liverpool fans just to tell us how you're doing at the moment. 45 minutes away potentially from winning the title. Let's bring Aaron Paul back in, who's been watching the game virtually with some Liverpool fans, some very nervous Liverpool fans, surely.
Evening, Steve. It's been very, very interesting, especially when that Christian Pulisic goal went in, when he walked in pushed forward off of the counter attack. It was just such a typical goal for one of these occasions where you need something to happen for a reaction. Let's talk to Owen Wilkie. He's a cop-out. He's a massive Liverpool fan. Owen, it's within touching distance. Give us a description of what happened inside your household when that Pulisic goal went in, pal.
When it went in, it was just pure elation. I really wasn't expecting Chelsea to get much out of this, and I think City were the better for the 20 minutes, and I thought definitely not going to happen. But when it in, we were all running around, and it's going to be the longest 45 minutes of our life now.
Rambo, we are 45 minutes away from eliminating, 30 years of hurt? What's the overriding emotion? Nerves, excitement, tension? What is it?
Well, I mean, you can see me and the guys at home can't. I don't know if it's the heat or it's this game, but I am literally dripping with sweat like I've played 90 minutes chasing a Pep Guardiola Man City team. It's extremely hot in here, and the funniest thing is, before the game, I actually was thinking, I don't mind not winning it tonight, but now all of a sudden I'm like, now we're halfway there, I really want to win it tonight.
I'll tell you what, I would love to compare both of you chaps around 2005, Istanbul 2005. What 45 minutes gives you more aggravation? This 45 minutes or Istanbul 2005? What's the feeling going to be like tomorrow in Liverpool, Owen? I mean, around the city centre, the buzz is going to be crazy. Naturally a socially distant crazy, but it will be nuts.
Yeah. It's going to be insane. You know, we've waited 30 years, as it's been mentioned, and I just think it's going to go nuts. I don't even think you'll have to wait till tomorrow to see it. I think people are just going to go out today and socially distance, celebrate along inside the city centre. It's just going to be pure elation.
Rambo, can you rely on the old enemy? Can you rely on Chelsea to do you a favour this evening?
It's a weird one because Chelsea love intercepting on everyone's title dreams. They want to just get their nose in. And it's almost like it would have to be Chelsea to do it. And I feel like I can see them getting through this, to be honest. As you can tell, normally I'm not lost for words. I did not see this happen. I actually thought it'd be 3-0 to City at half-time and we'd all be thinking about next Thursday. But Chelsea seem like they can get a job done on City at the moment, as it stands.
Well, Steve, we'll be back with you in 45 minutes with Liverpool either as champions or champions in waiting.
Yeah, we'll certainly have a lot to talk about if Liverpool win the title tonight. Do not worry about that. We'll have a couple of things planned. 85058 at 5Live Sport. Keep getting in touch. Dave, these are the kind of messages. These are great. Dave, I was born in 1989, shortly before the final season that Liverpool won the league. Any day now, my first son will be born as Liverpool celebrate their next title 30 years apart. You just couldn't script it. PRK has been in touch, says, Dear Liverpool, you're welcome. Brackets, a Chelsea fan. But there's still room for conspiracy theories, I see. Michael just says, wow, that was so bad defensively. It's as if Manchester City are letting Chelsea win so that Manchester United don't end up getting fourth place. Could be happening. Who can possibly say? Thank you very much. 85058 at 5Live Sport. Love that message from Dave. We're almost ready for the second half then at Stamford Bridge. In 45, probably 50 minutes time when you put the drinks break in there as well. Liverpool could be champions of the league. Your commentary team at Stamford Bridge, Karen Carney and our correspondent John Murray. And it's those messages, John, like the one I just read out from Dave. A generation of Liverpool fans. You only need to be in your mid-30s to have been a lifelong Liverpool fan and have never known the feeling of winning a title.
Yeah, I was mentioning over the course of the last few days that Jordan Henderson just turned 30, the Liverpool captain, and it occurred to me that he was obviously born just a few weeks after Liverpool last won the title. So it feels like it's getting very close now for Liverpool after all these years, Karen. Only a half of football away from potentially finally being confirmed as champions.
No, I was just messaging Stephen Warnock there thinking, how's he feeling right now?
We might be hearing from him later on the programme as the game resumes in the second half here at Stamford Bridge behind closed doors, with Chelsea leading Manchester City by 1-0. We wondered, you and I, Karen, whether Manchester City might make a change at half-time. Gabriel Jesus on the bench, but no changes for City, no changes for Chelsea either. So it is, as they started the match, with Kepa in goal for Chelsea, Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rdiger and Alonso, Barkley, Kante and Mount, Willian, Giroud and goalscorer Pulisic, and Manchester City with Ederson, Walker, Fernandinho, Laporte and Mendy, Rodri and Gundogan with De Bruyne in midfield, Marez on the right, Sterling on the left and Bernardo Silva usually as the false nine. And Chelsea leading through that goal just under 10 minutes before half-time after the collision, the lack of communication, the communication breakdown between Mendy and Gundogan on the halfway line, but a very good piece of finishing and front running really by Pulisic. Chelsea, blue shirts, blue shorts, white socks, of course, here at Stamford Bridge against Manchester City in their luminous yellow and pink creation, and it is Manchester City who've got the ball inside their own half, the champions for the last 2 seasons, but now 45 minutes away from being the former champions, as Rdiger, little touch from him on the halfway line. Manchester City playing from right to left, so Chelsea attacking towards the Matthew Harding stand in the second half, which has the Chelsea FC Pride of London banner over the seats in the bottom section, and Frank Lampard's blue and white army on the upper tier. Here is Sterling on the left-hand side, quiet in the first half. Sterling back to Mendy. Mendy's shot actually hits Christensen, loops up in the air, and it's caught by Kepa. But Christensen has been poleaxed by that. It caught him on the head, and he's flat on his back in the penalty area, feet wide apart, and arms over his forehead.
I mean, then Mendy hit that with some force, and he just stood there, took it and knew he was going to come to him, hit him on the head, and he just straight away fell back. I think everyone knew that was a tough one. I mean, if I was him, I would have got out of the way of that. There's no way I would have done what he did, but that's why he's a centre-half, that's why he's brave, and he's been very, very good tonight, especially against, it's difficult when he's had to step in and maybe not step out, and he's a young player as well, and him and Rdiger have been very good so far.
So we've got a stoppage while Christensen receives the treatment. Must just mention as well, it's the first match that Chelsea have played here at Stamford Bridge since the death of Peter Bonetti, one of the absolute all-time Chelsea greats. And I see the banner at the front of the top tier of the shed stand, which reads, it's green, the same colour of the shirt as Peter Bonetti used to wear. Peter Bonetti, the cat, who...
I've got a funny story about him.
Have you?
Yeah. He must have started driving cars, and I was meeting up with England, and he pulled up in his car, and he chauffeured me and one of my teammates to an England camp, and chatting to us about Chelsea and football and stuff like that. I think it was one of the best car drives that we've all had, but
well,
yeah.
He did a variety of jobs,
Yeah.
Because did you hear the story that he actually moved way up into the north of Scotland, I think to the islands in Scotland, and worked as a postman for a little while?
It was mad.
Just went completely, but then of course came back and was very much part of the scene at Chelsea as well, and only Ron Harris has made more appearances for Chelsea than Peter Bonetti, and I think it's such a shame that there hasn't been a chance for a full Stamford Bridge to pay him a tribute, but I'm sure they will once things do return to normal. But the stoppage continues because Christensen's still receiving treatment, and he's back up onto his feet, and he's taken quite a hit from that shot that he intercepted with his forehead from Mendy, and clearly they're going to have to be very careful with Christensen, who is off the field at the moment. He's taking a swig from his bottle of water, and he's okay to head back onto the field.
I'm just looking at the Manchester City subs warming up as well. Zinchenko, Jesus, David Silva. I think at the 60-minute mark you'll see a triple substitution. I won't be surprised if it stays the same.
Conor McNamara was telling me last night that Manchester United, in the match that he was covering, went for a quintuple substitution, which sent a shiver down my spine. Here's Rdiger at the back. Chelsea are leading by 1-0 early in the second half, but with every second that ticks by, Liverpool are closer to being confirmed as champions. We know that it's going to come sooner or later with the massive lead that they have, but this is the first night that it could happen, and it might well happen. Laporte. Manchester City have got to turn it round to deny Liverpool tonight. Laporte, with Giroud not far away, turns and gives it back to Ederson, who was comprehensively beaten by Pulisic, so no clean sheet for Ederson tonight. And here he is in the bottle green goalkeeping kit, Ederson passing it out to Gundogan. Now Laporte in the left-back position, but Barkley immediately closing him down, so Ederson passes it out to Gundogan, and Gundogan then playing it across to Fernandinho, who's in the right-back area, and he rolls it across the penalty area to Laporte. They're just not getting out of their defensive third, so Ederson does go longish out to Walker. nearer the halfway line, and then Walker slips it between two Chelsea players to Rdiger. Rdiger just delays and then comes in field on his left foot, but his crossfield pass is straight into the path of Azpilicueta. That was easy for the Chelsea captain, and they with Alonso send a pass forward, but that just gifts possession back to Manchester City. Just beginning to get dark when this in this period where the days are at their longest, and we've still got a tinge of sunset over the top of the Matthew Harding stand to our right, but the floodlights beginning to take greater effect. Already 6 minutes played in the second half. Manchester City with possession. Here's Walker on the right hand side, and then Rdiger wriggles away from Mount, plays the ball to the right to Walker. Walker now takes a touch 30 yards from goal, square from him, and Mendy through to Bernardo Silva, left side of the box. Bernardo Silva back onto his right foot, but with his left finds Mendy, who lifts his shot high over the crossbar, and it lands a quarter of the way up the top tier of the Shed stand. New ball required from the cone. 1-0 to Chelsea. Karen Carney.
Yeah, Manchester City trying to get back into their rhythm, which they started in the first 20 minutes of the first half. They started the same in this second half, moving it from left to right, 1 and 2 touch again. Yes, they haven't really penetrated Kepa in the Chelsea goal, but it's been a brighter start from Manchester City for sure.
Chelsea doing exactly what Manchester City were doing a few moments ago, trying to play the ball out from their defensive third, but they lose possession near the halfway line. Pulisic, the goal scorer, couldn't keep it, so Manchester City have it, and the ball is crossed in from the right-hand side from De Bruyne, who overhits it beyond Sterling and Bernardo Silva, who were the only so I mean that's a collector's item there. De Bruyne crossing like that when you've got the two little men, Bernardo Silva and Sterling, in the box, who you wonder whether they would have had a chance with it anyway, but certainly not with it being hit like that. And over the course of the time that we've seen him on the pitch since the restart, Kevin De Bruyne has been absolutely outstanding, but I don't know where that one came from, but I suppose everyone makes mistakes. Here's De Bruyne, flags up on the halfway line, but it was against Chelsea, so Manchester City continue to bring it forward, and then Marez is bundled over, and it's a free kick 22-23 yards out for Manchester City, slightly left of centre, and City are going to make a couple of changes. David Silva and Gabriel Jesus are waiting to come on, so it's going to be a double change for Manchester City. I don't think it'll be just yet though, Karen. Or will it? Yes, it will be now. So they're going to make the changes before the free kick is taken. Bernardo Silva, the first one, so Jesus on for Bernardo Silva. And Rdiger, the other player, making way. So Jesus, so they do now have a genuine number 9 on the field, and David Silva is on there as well. And play will resume with this free kick, which Kevin De Bruyne is very interested in, Karen.
It's in a good range, isn't it? It's 25 yards out. Kepa's lined the wall up, he's left the gap on his right hand side, so that's where I think Kevin De Bruyne would aim it.
Slight angle, free kick, De Bruyne curls it, top corner. Oh, magnificent equaliser. Kevin De Bruyne, a little hop from him. It's back level at 1-1, and Liverpool might just have to wait. It's still this scoreline in Liverpool's favour to decide it tonight, but Manchester City are back level here at Stamford Bridge, 1-1, as De Bruyne scores an excellent free kick against one of his former clubs.
I'm just trying to work out if it took a deflection, just watching the replay, or was it so well hit that it just kind of dipped up and over the wall. Just trying to have a look. No, absolute sweet, hit it, sweet spot. Had a massive dip on it and dipped again, and Kepa had no chance. And he put it in that corner where we said the wall was meant to line it up, but it was that hit that well, it avoided the wall.
That was wicked. And here's Barkley. Barkley now is Chelsea attack, and then it's tidied up on the edge of the penalty area by Gundogan. Barkley's gone down, actually. I'm not sure if he was caught after the ball had gone. So Barkley's still on his knees inside the Manchester City penalty area. But the score now 1-1, a scoreline that still would mean that Liverpool would be champions tonight. But Manchester City have levelled it up, and the dip on that free kick was astonishing. Here's Azpilicueta now for Mount. Mount's low cross to the near post is just touched behind for a corner to Chelsea.
Just watching that free kick again from De Bruyne, it's just exquisite. He's actually hit it on the inside of his foot, and just the pace and then the dip, outstanding.
The goal coming 10 minutes into the second half. Corner to Chelsea. Willian, deep one towards the back post, which is headed across by Giroud, but he was twisting under pressure and he just looped a header into the 6-yard box that Ederson was able to catch, and they've quickly given it out. Ederson and now De Bruyne, and then an early ball across for Sterling, and Sterling on the edge of the area, clips it, hits the post, and it bounces back. He beat Kepa as he came out, Raheem Sterling, but it hit the front of the post and bounced back out, and that is a let-off for Chelsea. And it means that it still could be Liverpool's night with this scoreline. Chelsea so close. The width of the post from going from 1-0 down to 2-1 up with a superb counter-attack when Chelsea were committed downfield, Karen Carney.
It was unbelievable. I'd love to see how long it took them to counter-attack. Again, it came from a Chelsea corner. The goalkeeper's just rolled it out, and then this is the chance now. Boom. 3 passes, one to Kevin De Bruyne, one to out to Marez, who played Sterling in behind. He was in, he just tried to dink it over, it just hit the post, but 3 passes and they're into the opposition 18-yard box. Is absolute unbelievable. That's the pace that they've got, and Frank Lampard's thinking, how has this happened in a few minutes? 1-0 up in control to nearly being 2-1 down.
That's what Manchester City can do to you. It's what the top teams can do to you. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1, though it remains after Sterling, who's been quiet in the game but was put through, did everything right. The little clip past Kepa as he came out from the edge of, maybe just inside the penalty area. It looked as though it was going to bounce in, but bounced up, hit the post and bounced back out. So it's still 1-1. And Manchester City preparing to make another change. Zinchenko is just waiting to come on. He's stripped off, ready to go, and Manchester City turning it all the way back to goalkeeper Ederson.
We just had a
long pass over the top for the run from Marez, but it was watched by Rdiger, and then a foul centre field on David Silva, and it's a free kick to City forward of the centre circle.
The lovely Steve Crossman has just messaged me and told me it was 9 seconds from leaving Ederson's hands to it hitting the post. That is how quick Manchester City counter-attack. Is unbelievable, isn't it?
That is a lightning break. Zinchenko is on to replace Mendy, who disappears past Guardiola and out of our sight to take his position on the substitute seats. And while I look down there, Karen, I see that Tammy Abraham is going to come on as well for Chelsea in what will be Frank Lampard's first change. So Manchester City have made 3 of the permitted 5. They have 1 slot left, City. Here's Zinchenko, newly into the match. 1-1 the score. BBC Radio 5 live from Stamford Bridge on the night that Liverpool could be confirmed as champions. Zinchenko back to Walker. Walker lifts it over into the penalty area, but Alonso was able to back away, take it down under no pressure, but he's failed to clear it. Marez, and then in on the challenge is Gabriel Jesus, who is upended by the challenge from Barkley, and it's another free kick to Manchester City. This is almost slap bang in the middle of the Chelsea half, so I think it's a slightly further out and slightly more central than from where De Bruyne scored just a few minutes ago. He takes it short, De Bruyne, and the referee says he's not ready. He was still bending down and spraying his line. So will he take another short one, or will he go for goal?
I think now the short spin sussed out. I think he'll go for goal, and the way he's been playing in this second half, if I was him, I'd shoot as well.
Well, if he hits another one like he did the first, which was crazy. This one he taps short to Silva, then he curls it into the penalty area, it bounces down. Zinchenko, there's a man down in there for Manchester City as well. Zinchenko trying to lift it over the top of Willian, and Willian is able to get to the ball first and clear it to De Bruyne. De Bruyne, I get the feeling, after that dreadful cross from De Bruyne, totally out of character, it's almost as if he's given himself a good talking to, and suddenly he's upped his game.
It's nice to see that even he's human and makes mistakes, but then he can just switch gears and go, I'll show you what I'm all about.
Yeah, here's Sterling now to David Silva on the left-hand side. David Silva trying to find a way past Christensen, who seems to have shrugged off the effects of of fielding that Mendy shot with his head. Blocks this behind. Corner to Manchester City from the left-hand side. So David Silva is just having a look at Kevin De Bruyne, who comes across. And De Bruyne says, no, I'll take this one. So David Silva wanders away into the penalty area. Laporte is coming up. Fernandinho is there on the edge of the penalty area. Here's the delivery from De Bruyne to the near post. Headed up, not away by Kante. Ball still in the air. Giroud went for it, jumped for it, bounced down, and it was hooked away to comparative safety. In fact, to the feet of Pep Guardiola, who gets a touch just as Zinchenko fields it next to him. And Giroud is replaced by Tammy Abraham, Chelsea's top scorer this season with his 15 goals. Abraham, who hasn't started a match since the 1st of February, hasn't scored since the first half of January, and he's now on this sweltering evening. And Giroud, the old man, 33 years old, gets a rest. Oh, poor clearance from Ederson, straight to Mount into the box. Oh, he shoots into the side netting from the angle on the left side of the box. What a chance that was from Ederson's poor delivery to put Chelsea back ahead, but it's still 1-1.
It's a big mistake from Ederson, but see what Frank Lampard's fuming about. Ederson's kicked it right into Mason Mount, and he's through, he's driving, there's no one in front of him, he's onto his left foot, yes, his weaker foot, it doesn't even hit the target. And that's been Chelsea's, it's been the story all season, hasn't it? They've had chances and they just haven't put it away. They haven't been clinical, haven't put it in the back of the net. And that's a massive opportunity missed there from Chelsea.
Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. If you've just joined our commentary on 5 Live, that's Karen Carney. And this is a scoreline that would see Liverpool confirmed as the champions tonight, with still 7 league matches to play. And that speaks for itself. Ball's out of play for a throw into Chelsea, halfway inside their own half.
When Ederson played that kick, I think everyone in the ground heard Pep Guardiola go mad at him. It's like a crime to give it away, and especially for Ederson because of how good he is in possession. He's like an outfield player, he's that good with his feet.
I actually didn't notice that, so he was less than impressed then, Karen.
Oh, yeah, I definitely heard it.
Oh, that's given away by Kante. Now Jesus receives it on the edge of the box. Jesus on his right foot. Now City all hustle and bustle, trying to turn this match around. Jesus, I think they're in one of their periods of 20 minutes of intensity that many teams find it impossible to resist. And he's won a corner to Manchester City from the right.
I think this is Manchester City's strongest 11 on the pitch now. Most comfortable. They seem to know each other's patterns, minus probably Aguero. This is probably their best 11 out there, most technical. And you can see the flow that they're trying to get with possession of the ball and the rhythm of how they're moving it now.
Corner then from out on the right-hand side. It's an Inswinger, this one, to the near post, over the top of Abraham, who leapt for it. Headed away, though, for Chelsea by Rdiger to Mount. Mount, who just wasted that very good opportunity to put Chelsea back ahead. And actually, as the ball was cleared away by Rdiger, he has caught Kevin De Bruyne. Just as he cleared it, he just whacked it away out for a throw, and I think on the follow-through has caught De Bruyne, who is just closing down the clearance. And he's just stepped on his left instep, round about the ball of his left foot, Karen.
Yeah, just caught him, I think. Kevin De Bruyne hopefully will be all right.
Well, with that second leg of the Champions League last 16 tie, and City having already lost Aguero, certainly would not want to lose De Bruyne. Never mind the FA Cup this weekend. You'll hear all of those commentaries on 5 Live, along with the Premier League this weekend, all of the football covered. Tomorrow night, 5 Live Friday Football Social will feature Brentford against West Brom. What a big game that is in the Championship. It'll be Nick Bright tomorrow night, along with Jermaine Genius. Kevin Nolan and Glenn Murray will be among the guests as well. And we're checking here for a possible red card for the challenge by Rdiger on De Bruyne. And as I said, De Bruyne was arriving on the scene. I mean, Rdiger is just clearing the ball away. Yet they're having a look for that, and the decision is quite correctly no serious foul play. I mean, I don't think you could accuse Rdiger there of serious foul play. He was just trying to get a ball away, Karen, wasn't he?
Yeah, he won the ball and got it away, but he just caught Kevin De Bruyne a little bit high. But no, I agree. I think VAR made the right decision.
Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. And we've got 25 minutes to play. Liverpool are now 25 minutes plus added time away from being confirmed as the champions. Here's Sterling on the left-hand side. Chelsea could have been back 2-1 up in this match had Mount scored, but Manchester City could have been 2-1 up if Raheem Sterling had been able to find the back of the net instead of the front of the post when he was put through. And now Manchester City coming again down the right-hand side. Kyle Walker goes for an early high pass. Christensen watched it very carefully. Jesus was behind him. Now Rdiger is there with Marez, and the ball is shepherded behind for the corner by Riyad Mahrez. Corner for Manchester City in front of the almost completely empty Shed stand with all of the blue canvases, various sponsors' names on it, and huge banner as well with the lion rampant, The Shed. Here is the Marez corner to the near post. It's gone a long way and it's been deflected to Sterling. Sterling curling just wide of the top corner. So close. I have to confess, Karen, I thought it was bending in.
I think Pep Guardiola was as well. He was nearly celebrating there, but saw what he's doing. It came out, back stick, Raheem Sterling took a touch, right foot tried to bend it into that far corner. It was just inches wide, really. Great effort. And now on this drinks break, is this the same as the first half where...
Change the game.
Potentially.
It's been eventful. It's been entertaining, second half.
It's been a great game so far. I think I just watched a replay of Kevin De Bruyne's free kick, but I think when you watch it back, Frank Lampard was very frustrated at why the free kick was given away, giving the fouls away in silly areas. They did it a little bit in the first half, and it's a silly foul where you just stand up and they tripped him up, and then that's caused the free kick, and then the free kick now leads to 1-1. But they've got to be, I think that's where the young age of Chelsea, they have to mature and be smart about when they give free kicks away in certain areas.
Here's a drinks break. Should we have a drink, Karen? What have you got? Just water?
I've drank all my coffee now.
It's all gone?
It's all gone.
All gone.
It's had to last since 5 o'clock, so...
Yes, well, it would have gone then. And Pep Guardiola has finished giving his instructions. The Manchester City players are heading back out into their positions to resume. Still one or two words from Frank Lampard, who now turns and walks away. He's very casually dressed tonight, all in very dark navy blue, puts his hands in his pockets, and then actually just takes a seat at the top of the steps there, down into the dugout. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. Chelsea were leading at half-time. A breakdown of communication between Mendy and Gundogan led to Pulisic running through and scoring to put Chelsea in front, but Manchester City equalising. Early in the second half, Kevin De Bruyne's fabulous free kick. I mean, it bent, it dipped. Kepa dived to his right, but the dip on it was remarkable from probably 25 yards. And Kevin De Bruyne, with that, scoring his 11th goal of the season. 10 in the Premier League. Ball downfield for Chelsea, Abraham to chase, but Ederson very quick out to the edge of the penalty area to gather it. And he underarms it out quickly. And Manchester City start again. 20 minutes to play. Liverpool 20 minutes away from being confirmed as champions. Now it's passed out by Fernandinho. Fernandinho stretches his legs, has a little look up, and plays it between two Chelsea players to De Bruyne. De Bruyne's ball infield straight to the Chelsea number 7, Kante, whose pass is beyond Abraham's run, who just checked it, actually. So Manchester City have got it back and will start again on this beautiful evening. Certainly beautiful for watching football, as David Silva now turns, plays it infield. Gundogan now glides around Kante into the penalty area, flicks it to Sterling to his left. Sterling, it's a packed penalty area. Sterling's into it now, trying to weave it one way and the other, and then Silva actually arrives and gets a heavy touch as he looked to just take it away, and that just deflected it through for a goal kick to Chelsea. 1-1.
Chelsea there, good defending, nice and compact, making it difficult even with Sterling trying to play these intricate passes. They're helping each other out, Chelsea, backing each other up. I do think it might be time maybe for a Chelsea change. They haven't had a lot of the ball in this 20 minutes of the second half. probably maybe Kovacic on. Ooh.
Long ball, Fernandinho is caught here. Pulisic's taking it through. Pulisic round Ederson. Pulisic to score. It's blocked on the line, and then it's blocked again by the goalkeeper. What a clearance that was by Kyle Walker. Pulisic stroked it goalwards, having gone past Fernandinho, round the goalkeeper, just didn't get enough pace on it, and Walker, using his pace, was able to slide in and block it right on the line. What a clearance. Now a ball forward for Manchester City to Jesus, who's beaten by Christensen on the edge of the box. So close again to 2-1 Chelsea, Karen.
I can't believe it, and they're on the attack again.
Here they come again. Kante now to Alonso. Alonso joining in as Chelsea attack towards the Matthew Harding stand. Barkley breaks away into the box on the left-hand side, pulls the ball across, but straight into Ederson's midriff as he steps to the edge of his 6-yard box and underarms it out quickly to Sterling. Quite a match this on a hot night at Stamford Bridge.
It was scary. It was just one long ball forward, and Manchester City didn't deal with it, and Pulisic ran onto it again, beating them all for pace, takes it round the keeper, and you're thinking, actually, you could have gone down. I think Frank Lampard was saying it should have been a foul, but he stayed on his feet, he was honest. He's done all the hard work, he just had to put a bit more pace on. And Kyle Walker, wow, what a recovery run, just knocks it off the line. But
I'd love to know where Walker came from, by the way, from how far up the field he came to affect that clearance off the line. And even then, it was nearly bundled over the line, but Ederson was able to get back and block it next to the foot of the post. So it's still 1-1. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. One of the best games since the restart, I would say this, is in the Premier League. And now here they come again on the right-hand side. Marez into the penalty area, but overruns it after Alonso stayed with him and forced him to carry it over the dead ball line for a goal kick. More substitutions coming. Kovacic coming on for Chelsea, and Otamendi for Manchester City. So first of all, it's the Chelsea change, and Kovacic waiting to replace. No, immediately. Oh, it's Barkley. Ross Barkley, who eventually breaks into a trot. So Kovacic on for him, and the Manchester City change sees Laporte, who obviously hasn't played a great deal of football this season. The long layoff, that knee injury early on in the campaign, and so Pep Guardiola being very careful with Emerick Laporte's fitness. So Otamendi on to partner Fernandinho, Karen.
Yeah, like he said in his press conference yesterday, it's about keeping players fit. Just watching the Pulisic chance back. Oh God, Walker, what an absolute goal line clearance there. Just wasn't enough pace on it from Pulisic.
He did everything but put a little more velocity on the final finish. Just over 15 minutes to play. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. Less than 15 minutes away. After well over 30 years, what's 15 minutes to Liverpool? Well, they'll be counting every second. There'll be plans in place, I would imagine, all over the red half of Merseyside and wherever Liverpool supporters are, to enjoy the moment. Although Jurgen Klopp wasn't giving anything away last night. Certainly he was asked a couple of times post-match what the plan was, whether the players would do anything, and it was very much stay stum about that. Here's Otamendi. Walker now out to the right-hand side it goes, and then from Marez back to Walker. Marez again. David Silva comes short, and now Zinchenko is picked out on the left-hand side, begins to move infield, finds the pass infield to Gundogan, De Bruyne, back to the halfway line. Otamendi is there. Otamendi, then back to De Bruyne, who peels away, looks infield, misplaced pass from De Bruyne straight into Kante. And Kante to Willian down the right-hand side. Willian blatantly pulled back by De Bruyne, but keeps his feet. Willian running away from De Bruyne into the penalty area. Willian with a cross, blocked by Otamendi. Abraham is there, and it's bundled onto the line, not over the line. It's cleared. Chelsea are claiming it was over the line. Abraham is saying the ball must have crossed the line. Palms apart, but referee Stuart Atwell is not indicating that the goal line technology has told him it is over the line, and actually he's going to pull out a yellow card for De Bruyne, who pulled back Willian but didn't bring him down. So that is a booking for Kevin De Bruyne. But how did that not cross the line? Willian crossed it to Abraham, whose shot was blocked by Kepa. Then Pulisic, a block from Ederson. Abraham was in there again. Defender on the line got a block on it too. And it did not cross the line. Fernandinho was the last defender.
Handball as well.
Maybe that's what he's asking for.
2 handballs, oh my gosh.
By Fernandinho.
How has that not been seen?
Well, VAR are looking for a possible penalty on the line.
Blatant handball.
That could also be a red card for Fernandinho. He's handballed it on the line.
Twice. If that's, I'm going home if that's not a penalty.
It's going to be a penalty, and I think it's going to be a red card for Fernandinho too. And we're into the last 15 minutes.
I want to see the Liverpool fans on this decision.
And when it comes, it surely will be. I mean, the players know it. The players know it. Fernandinho knows it. They're just waiting for the confirmation
It's a clear handball.
They're just waiting for the confirmation to come from the video assistant referee, who I'm not sure what the delay is. Craig Pawson is the man who's at the controls tonight, or in charge of the controls. Or in charge of the decisions, and they're still talking about it.
Off the line.
Twice in 2 separate incidents. And there is the rectangle in the air from referee Atwell. He points to the penalty spot and he shows the red card to Fernandinho, and Manchester City are down to 10 men, and Chelsea have the chance to go 2-1 up, a chance to move themselves ahead again and quite possibly score the goal that will see Liverpool confirmed as champions tonight. Now, 30 years ago, it was a penalty that was scored by John Barnes that clinched it for Liverpool, their 18th league title. And here in 2020, behind closed doors at Stamford Bridge, Willian with a penalty that could win the game for Chelsea and confirm the title for Liverpool. Willian waits and steps up now, and right-footed sends it high into the Manchester City net. Ederson falls to his left. The ball is in the net, and Chelsea lead by 2-1. We've got just over 10 minutes to play here, and that could be the goal that sees Liverpool finally champions again on this June night, after 30 years and more of waiting. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1.
So wonderful penalty he's taken there. Sent Ederson the wrong way, had a bit of height on it, power. Wonderful finish. Can't believe it. Now they're down, they just got to manage the game now, Chelsea. Got the extra body as well.
10-man Manchester City. Fernandinho, red carded. So will be out of the FA Cup at the weekend against Newcastle. And Ederson clearing the ball high and long downfield. Chelsea, now space is opening up all over the field. Manchester City had to win this game tonight to deny Liverpool being confirmed as champions, and with just over 10 minutes to play, they're losing it. What a second half it's been. It's been dramatic. I must say it's taken my mind back to 2016 here, when Chelsea played Tottenham and came back and drew the match, and Leicester City were confirmed as champions that night without kicking a ball. Chelsea doing Liverpool a favour, who'd have thought? Willian to the edge of the box. Willian now deflected into the penalty area. Chelsea are looking for a third goal. Azpilicueta with a cross to the back post. It's headed back towards Mount. Mount can't reach it. He has got there after the ball was deflected back. Now Kovacic, Mount. There's suddenly new vigour and new energy for Chelsea after going 2-1 up in the match. The ball is played across to Kante, and the 10 men of Manchester City are chasing shadows here. And Manchester City still with it. Chelsea go back towards the halfway line, and Manchester City now look like outgoing champions. What an effort, what a turnaround it would have to be to come back to win this game from here with 10 men. And Chelsea it is coming forward, but Gundogan is able to collect the ball for City on the edge of his own penalty area. Now Zinchenko, and then Gundogan back to the edge of the box. If it is Liverpool's night, if this scoreline stays the same way, we're going to be opening up the phone lines on 5 Live tonight after the final whistle. I'll let you know when the lines are open, but 08085 909 693, the usual number to call. You can text 85058, get in touch on social media at 5 Live Sport. But Manchester City aren't finished yet. Jesus near the edge of the box. Ball headed away by Christensen, comes back again. Jesus turns Christensen, but Rdiger was there for Chelsea, and Kepa has the ball at his feet. Karen Carney.
I'm just thinking about Liverpool, if I'm honest. What's going on there? Like, it's been a fantastic game here as well, and Chelsea will be buzzing if they can get 3 points here. Champions League spot is key for Frank Lampard. But they've been excellent, Chelsea. You have to give them a lot of credit. How many times has Kepa been called upon? Once in the first half and the free kick, which I don't think any goalkeeper in the world could save. But they've really kept Manchester City at bay, and I think Manchester City have been not themselves.
No, after the highs of the 2 home matches. Here though, Zinchenko on the left-hand side, crossing, headed away by Rdiger. But never count out the great teams, never count them out, even with 10 men.
Exactly.
And this Manchester City side is a great team.
I think as well, I was thinking of centre-backs, you know, how you lose company and Liverpool get Van Dijk. You just see the difference what centre-halves and characters and personalities bring to football clubs, and Manchester City just don't have it in their 2 centre-halves, or 3.
De Bruyne now appears on the left-hand side. Christensen is able to get a touch back onto De Bruyne, and it's behind for a goal kick. We've got 8 minutes to play, plus added time, and it's a scoreline this, Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1, that will do very nicely for Liverpool. And there's great irony in Chelsea getting a result to hand the title to Liverpool, the great rivalry that they've had, which is not just a modern thing, you know, the great Champions League rivalry that the clubs have had, and in the days of Jose Mourinho and Liverpool, but it goes way back. Bill Shankly and Tommy Docherty back in the early 60s. There was feeling between Chelsea and Liverpool then, but Chelsea are doing what they have to do for themselves, and a win would move Chelsea within a point of Leicester in 3rd place. And that's the important thing for Frank Lampard and Chelsea in 2020, to win the game and get the points. And here's Azpilicueta winning the ball back, and Azpilicueta pouring forward down the right-hand side and curling the ball right across the 6-yard box and through and behind for a goal kick to Manchester City. And we have less than 8 minutes to play.
Okay, you're looking at the fitness of Chelsea. That's Azpilicueta, who's been, you know, ran the other way for the majority of the game, picks the ball up in the counter-attack and sprinting forward. You see Willian going forward, Pulisic, Mount. It's the energy of Chelsea, you know, with less than 10 minutes to go, and they're hungry. It's really good, and catching Man City on that counter-attack.
Manchester City with the ball at the back. Gundogan in danger of losing out here, but he just manages to stab it away under pressure and pass it in the end forward to Kyle Walker, who turns it back to Gundogan, now out towards the right-hand side. Marez is there, and Jesus gets a touch on the halfway line. Oh, lovely footwork. Passes it around Abraham as well. Still Gabriel Jesus. Zinchenko has found some space on the left-hand side. Across comes Jesus again, but he's 35 yards from goal. De Bruyne now through to Marez with a touch. Zinchenko, but the pass from David Silva under pressure from Mount meant that it was slightly wayward, and De Bruyne had to make ground back towards the halfway line, and Manchester City have to start again. And Chelsea are standing up very strongly here. You can, from our high position, you can clearly see their setup, their well-organised setup, and then Marez on the left-hand side runs into a double challenge from Willian and Azpilicueta, and they've got the bit between their teeth, Chelsea here. They've got the lead, and they look as though they have the determination here to see this out. They know, as I say, how important the points are in the Premier League table. Now, the ball on the right-hand side with Sterling. Sterling takes it on, the challenge from Pulisic. I think it was flagged by the assistant on the far side.
I thought it was unlucky there. I thought Pulisic got the ball.
But it's a free kick that's been given, which is effectively like a short corner in the Chelsea left-back position, Karen.
Yeah, it's another good opportunity to put the ball in the box. I think Marez will take it with his preferred left foot. They've tried outswingers on the past few wide free kicks. He might even go for goal from this range, because he's just outside the 18-yard box. It's a good opportunity to have a shot.
Very tight angle, but he'll swing it in left-footed, which he does. It takes a flick off the head of Rdiger at the near post. I beg his pardon, Abraham it was at the near post, who got his head to it, deflected it across goal and behind Another corner to Manchester City, which is taken short. Then Zinchenko plays it into the back post. Alonso got up there to win the header under pressure. Now Sterling, 25 yards out, lifts the ball over everyone and indeed over the crossbar as well and through for a goal kick. And we are into the last 5 minutes at Stamford Bridge here tonight. BBC Radio 5 Live, quite possibly bringing you the moments in which Liverpool are confirmed as the league champions again, finally, after all these years. Less than 5 minutes plus added time to play. And you can just imagine, Karen, all of the Liverpool supporters that you'll know, I'm sure you'll know plenty of them, who are thinking that the moment is about to arrive. What a wait it's been. But Manchester City have to turn this around now to deny Liverpool, and they've got to turn it round with 10 men after Fernandinho was sent off. Walker forward for Marez. Now down the right hand side, Sterling is there. Sterling up against Alonso. Pep Guardiola has switched. Sterling out towards the right hand side for the latter stages of this game. David Silva now back towards Walker. Quick pass from Walker because he found Mount in front of him, and then Walker, that's a lovely ball through to Sterling. Sterling catches up with it, clips it back across. Looked as though the ball might have been out, but the flag has now gone up. Sterling just crossed it from behind the line, and it's a goal kick to Chelsea, who lead Manchester City by 2-1 with 3 minutes to play.
So I've just got a message from one of my former teammates, and all her family are from Liverpool, and she's like, the Scouse party is going off in her house.
Oh, they've started already?
They've started already.
What?
It's only 3 more minutes to go. Don't do it too early yet.
I thought they weren't going to do that, Liverpool supporters, until it was absolutely certain. Here's De Bruyne on the edge of the area again. Manchester City trying their damnedest to get back into this game, but Marez is beaten and it's played up towards Mount. Mount is able just to give it a little touch to Kovacic, who sees it to Pulisic, who scored the opening goal. Pulisic made it 1-0. It was 1-0 at half-time. Kevin De Bruyne with a magnificently struck, dipping free kick to make it 1-1. And then all sorts of eventful things going on during the course of this game. But Willian putting Chelsea back in front in the 79th minute with a penalty after Fernandinho blocked twice with his hand on the line as Tammy Abraham tried to bundle it into the net. So Fernandinho was sent off, and Willian's excellent penalty. Willian, who signed a contract to see this through to the end of the season, and he was the cool head behind closed doors at Stamford Bridge who put Chelsea 2-1 up. Manchester City with the ball inside the Chelsea half. We're into the last 2 minutes now, into the 89th minute. David Silva receives it from Sterling, but David Silva goes back towards Gundogan, now out to the right-hand side. The ball, Marez with a cross into the penalty area from way out wide, but over the top of Jesus, and a comfortable catch for Kepa, who will get to his feet and underarm it out. Chelsea are going to make another couple of changes. Frank Lampard's final changes, aren't they? I think he's used 2 slots already. So Pedro is going to come on, and also young Billy Gilmore is going to come onto the field for the final moments of this match. We are almost in the 90th minute. Not long to wait now for Liverpool. Azpilicueta playing it back to Rdiger on the edge of the box. Rdiger gets the ball down and passes it forward. Manchester City pressing, but Chelsea in possession, and Manchester City for once can't get the ball back. Christensen to the right hand side to Azpilicueta. Need to keep our eyes on Kevin Friend down there as well, just to see how many minutes will be added on as the ball is played to Abraham, who is in an offside position. He claims he wasn't, but the free kick is taken by Zinchenko. Now here's Otamendi back to Zinchenko. We've got 15 seconds of the 90 minutes. A wayward pass from the back has given the ball away to Azpilicueta. Willian is then shrugged off the ball by Walker, who goes back to Ederson, who passes it out. And here comes the board, Karen. 6 minutes. 6 minutes of added time. And if Manchester City cannot turn this game around and score 2 goals without reply, Liverpool will be confirmed as champions in 6 minutes. Change is about to be made now, and the numbers suggesting that Mason Mount is going to be replaced by
number 11,
Pedro, and Billy Gilmore will take the place of Pulisic. So Pulisic, who scored the opening goal tonight, scored in both games since the restart. Karen?
I thought he's been excellent. He's been my man of the match. I think Christensen and Rdiger have been very good, but Pulisic has been so good, bright, lively, sharp. He's getting a pat on the back from his manager, very much deserved that goal, and he could have had 2, 3 as well, but keep building his confidence, and Chelsea have got a player on their hands there.
Yep, and Billy Gilmore onto the field for another appearance. It is 8th appearance for the first team, the 19-year-old that they're so excited about here, the young Glaswegian. Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1. Liverpool closing in on that title. Finally, we thought it was going to be done months ago. It should have been done months ago under normal circumstances. This massive lead they've got at the top of the table. The defending champions Manchester City heading to their 8th league defeat of the campaign. And really, Liverpool have romped it. It was a matter of when, not if. But they still wanted to get it done as soon as possible. And it looks as though it's going to be done tonight, even though they've not kicked the ball. Zinchenko on the left-hand side. We've had 2 minutes of the 6 of added time. There's no immediate sign here of Manchester City getting back into this game with the 10 men. And indeed, Gilmore will hit a long ball downfield. Looks more like Chelsea scoring another one than Manchester City getting one. And Pedro goes for goal and curls it, and diving to his left, Ederson's got a touch on that to make a very good save to deny Chelsea a 3rd goal.
Yeah, it's a great ball from Gilmore. Switch the play, then leaves Pedro 1v1 there, cuts inside on his right foot, tries to bend it in that far corner, and Ederson just got enough on it to palm it away for a corner.
Good value for this, Chelsea, for you, Karen?
Been excellent, really, really good. The whole game plan, the clinical edge, they could have had more. Defensively, they've been superb. Kepa's had very little to do. I think Pep Guardiola will be really disappointed with his side tonight, and the same old issues have cost them defending and the 2 centre-backs. So he can tinker all he wants, but when you don't have the players in that back line, it's going to cost you.
Chelsea take a short corner and then contrive to lose possession, but then Kevin De Bruyne is just caught on the halfway line. Free kick. Pedro with the challenge. Manchester City with 2.5 minutes left. 2.5 minutes to turn this around. 2.5 minutes to score 2 goals without reply. It seems an impossible task now. It looks all ends up as though it's going to be Liverpool's night, even though they're not playing. Gabriel Jesus bringing it forward, but loses possession, and Chelsea sweeping forward. 3, 4, 5, 6 blue shirts now inside the Manchester City half, but Pedro actually turns and gives it back into his own territory. They're going to try and hold this, Chelsea. Don't need to do anything silly here to see this out for a very important win, significant win at the top end of the Premier League table to move to within a point of Leicester, who will be able to hear Chelsea coming behind them and obviously create a little bit of a gap behind them, as well as Pedro concedes a foul over there on the far side. We're into the 5th minute of 6 of added time. Manchester City take this free kick. Walker, who's taken over in a central defensive position since Fernandinho was sent off, and then Zinchenko, the recipient of a crunching challenge from Tammy Abraham, a good one as well, took the ball, and Zinchenko was sent sprawling onto the Stamford Bridge turf. Kepa's got the ball in his hands. Manchester City can't get it back. This is going to be the night for Liverpool. After all these years, after all this waiting, Kepa rather miskicks it. It just bounces harmlessly out of play. 08085 909 693 to join in with us on 5 Live Sport tonight. If you're a Liverpool fan, what does this mean to you? 85058. Get in touch on social media at 5 Live Sport as well and join in our conversation. We'll have a number of Liverpool guests as well coming on once the title is confirmed, and it will be confirmed within the next 60 seconds. Here's Gundogan playing the ball out towards the right-hand side. The final moments here. Manchester City need to score 2 goals. It's not going to happen, and it's all a question of how long Stuart Atwell is going to add on. Gundogan now carrying the ball forward. Otamendi misses his pass forward, and it bounces for Chelsea. And now here's Willian, but Willian will just play it down into the full-back position. Tammy Abraham on the chase, and I make it that the 6 minutes are up. Chelsea have to watch this long ball hit downfield by Otamendi, but it runs harmlessly over the head of Jesus. And now the ball with Kepa. Stuart Atwell looks at his watch, allows Chelsea to continue to play.
Here we go.
And this is the moment. The final whistle goes at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have beaten the outgoing champions Manchester City by 2-1. And for Liverpool, the day has finally come. On this hottest of flaming June summer nights, the great red drought has come to an end. And after 30 long years and a few months more, not even a global pandemic could prevent Liverpool from claiming what this season is rightfully theirs. Liverpool are the champions again. The 30 years of hurt are over, and 3 decades after League Championship title number 18, at long last, they're the champions for the 19th time. Manchester City, their players head away. They will, of course, under Pep Guardiola, fight another day. An important win for Chelsea here tonight. But for Liverpool, when it's come in style. They're confirmed champions with a whopping 7 matches still to play. But it's happened rather surreally. Behind closed doors, it's been secured on a night that they've not kicked a ball. And all we can do, as that most famous of Liverpudlians might have said, is imagine all the people, Karen.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I just want to see all the scenes there now. I do all the Liverpool. I just feel bad that it's in this situation that they've won it, but I'm sure when the time's right, they'll be able to celebrate. They've been the best team by a country mile, and, you know, they've played some wonderful football, got a great manager, unbelievable fans. I'm just watching scenes of Kenny Dalglish on the screens here. He looks like he's crying, and it's unbelievable, isn't it? You know, what a fantastic day for the Liverpool fans. and buzzing for them.
Final short word on the match that we've seen here tonight. Entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. Great game. Chelsea was superb. You know, they got the game plan spot on, played on the counter-attack, was defensively superb. Kepa had nothing to do, really. And could have had 2 more goals, actually. But a great performance. Frank Lampard will be buzzing with the 3 points. And Champions League definitely in their sights now, for sure.
So Chelsea winning by 2-1. Pulisic and Willian with a penalty. It was the penalty that won the match for Chelsea. Manchester City equalising through Kevin De Bruyne. Fernandinho sent off in the conceding of the penalty. But it's a scoreline, a Chelsea win, that means Liverpool are confirmed as champions. And finally, there's a golden sky over Anfield once again.
After a 30-year storm. 08085 909 693. Liverpool fans, we want to hear from you tonight. Just looking at social media straight away. Andy Burnham, the mayor of Greater Manchester, famous Everton fan, has just tweeted the hands-on face emoji. I think he's off to bed. Gary Neville has just tweeted the waving emoji. I think he's done for the evening as well. Social media belongs to you, Liverpool fans. 85058 at 5 Live Sport, and our phone lines belong to you too. So give us a call, 08085 909 693. Let us know how you will be celebrating. And Mike's messaged already. You'll never win again, they said. You'll never win anything, they said. They created pages and accounts with these names, but now we're here winning. You'll never walk alone. Barry, the search for the Holy Grail is complete. 30 years buried now. By far the best team in the land this season. Matt, I am speechless right now. Well, let's hear from some Liverpool fans with plenty to say. Aaron Paul.
Steve, the serial Premier League bridesmaid is now the bride. It's not how they would have wanted to have done it, but as John Murray said in commentary, you have to enjoy the moment. A couple of Reds fans who certainly enjoying the moment right now, Owen Wilkie and Rambo. Let's go to Rambo first. Rambo, you see clubs go past you and win it on multiple occasions. United, City, Chelsea, Arsenal, but finally, it is your time. Tell me about those feelings.
My bro, to everyone out there, I promised myself I'd be as professional as possible and I'd make sure I didn't go mad. But this is actually insane. After 28 years of my entire life, spending everyone in my circle are United fans, Chelsea fans, Arsenal. Everyone's has had a piece of the pie, and now we're the best team in England. And no team has ever won it this early. No team's ever won it in this situation. And it's just amazing that William was the guy who scored the goal to probably sink our last chance at winning the league, and then William's the guy to effectively win us the league this time around. It's honestly probably the best day of my life. It is the best day of my life.
What a brilliant 90 minutes. What a brilliant 15 minutes at the end. Final 15 minutes. The emotions must have been swaying properly.
Yeah, honestly, the goal line clearance from Walker, and I thought it's probably not going to happen tonight. And City had a few moments, and KDB comes out with an absolute worldie, and you just think, KDB's just going to do that again for them. And then the red card happens with Fernandinho after like 4 goal line clearances. Didn't even know where the balls. I was just screaming at my TV, why's the ball in the back of the net? And eventually, when we get the penalty, when Chelsea get the penalty, I was convinced William's going to put it wide. But yeah, honestly, I can't even explain it. I can currently see Kenny Dalglish on screen crying, which clearly doesn't help the emotions either. It's honestly ridiculous.
Let's now head into the city of Liverpool and talk to someone in Wavertree. It's Owen Wilkie. Owen, I was a bit worried for the final few seconds of that game. You had your head in your hands. I can't see you on my screen now, but I'm still a bit worried. Are you okay, Owen?
Mate, it's unbelievable. The last 20 minutes, I'm absolutely sweating. The heat in the city and the nerves that Chelsea have just put me through. I can't believe it, but like Rambo said, it's the best day of our lives, absolutely.
I mean, when the celebrations are allowed to happen, the scenes in the city will be phenomenal, won't they?
But they're going to be absolutely insane. Like Klopp said, he doesn't care if we have to wait 12, 13 games next season. He wants to celebrate it with us, and there was 700,000 people there last year for the Champions League. There's got to be over 1 million for this season when we do eventually get to parade it.
I hear there's a fair few in your front room downstairs.
Yeah, well, I've had to come upstairs because they're being that loud. All I can hear is fireworks and cars beeping. So I just want to get out there and celebrate with them. But obviously, we can't. But we've just got to make the most of what we can do.
You're up there, Rambo. Rambo, you're in the loft.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say, Aaron, I don't know if Owen can hear me. Owen, when that celebration happens, I'm coming to Liverpool. I'm staying at your gaff because I'm going to need a place to stay and everywhere's going to be booked. So I'm having a sleepover in your place, all right?
That's fine, bro. That's fine.
There you have it, chaps. Thank you very much, Steve. The party is just getting started in the city of Liverpool. Thanks to Owen and Rambo's. Once more, there is glory around the fields of Anfield Road.
Thank you very much, guys. Kenny Dalglish has just been speaking on TV. He's just said this: the last 2 years since Jurgen's come in have been so positive. He's been fantastic. He epitomises everything Liverpool Football Club stands for. Whatever they've got, they have deserved it. Onwards and upwards. We have a lot more happy days to look forward to as long as Jurgen is here. Are we talking dynasty? Liverpool fans, 08085 909 693. You can give us a call. If you're listening on 5 Live Sports Extra, we need you to come over now and join us on 5 Live, where we'll be continuing the party. And what a party it is going to be, because Liverpool fans, you've finally done it. You are finally there. Former Liverpool and England defender Stephen Warnock is with us. Good evening, Stephen.
Hi, Steve. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one. It's sort of, you knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when, once the season restarted. And I mean, I'm in the Liverpool city centre now. I can hear horns sort of going off everywhere, and there's a few fireworks and things like that. And you just think it's been the inevitable, but for them to finally get over the line, I almost feel sorry for the players that they can't share it with each other. Because they're all probably in the houses, and I think of the party that the Leicester players had last time when they were celebrated. You want to embrace it with your teammates. You want to remember in 20, 30 years, when you meet back up with them players, the first time like Liverpool won the title in 30 years, where were you? We were all together. We were a team. It's strange times, but listen, the players will take it. The fans will take it. It's been a long time coming, and I'm really pleased for obviously for Jurgen Klopp, because he came in with. He talked the talk when he came in, and he's backed it up. He's been an incredible manager, and the style of football as well has been phenomenal.
We'll still be talking about this team, I think, as well in 30 years, because the quirk of this season is that by winning the Premier League with 7 games to spare, Liverpool are the earliest ever champions. But by winning it on June the 25th, they're also the latest. And what a season, it's a season that's started and stopped twice. Once for a winter break, once for a pandemic. And yet we've had this one constant, which has been the brilliance of Liverpool.
Yeah, and I think there was a few people sort of worried after the Everton game. They didn't really click into gear. Didn't really get going. You have to give credit to Everton. I thought they were very well organised on the night. But then you look at the performance last night and you think they meant business last night. And obviously the influence of Salah and Robertson coming back into the team was huge for that. But they've dealt with every obstacle that's been thrown at them. You have to think at the beginning of the season, they were in 7 competitions going into the start of the season. They've come out with the World Club Cup, the Super Cup, and now the Premier League, which is quite an incredible feat when you think of all the games that they've had to face, all the obstacles in the way, and a phenomenal effort from all involved at the club, the way they've handled it.
So we've got Stephen Warnock with us, John Murray and Karen Carney. We just heard some of the horns going off in Liverpool city centre. Nick Garnett's out and about in Liverpool for us. Hi, Nick.
Hi, we've had the flares on, we've had fireworks on. You've got You'll Never Walk Alone going on in the background at the moment. This is an area of Liverpool where there are no Evertonians tonight. There are no, there's nothing else apart from Liverpool fans here. I'm just going to get a couple of them over when they get to the end of this chorus. But I'll just tell you that what was really interesting was getting to the end of the game when the referee announced another 6 minutes. There was a huge groan as they waited for that final whistle to come. Some people didn't wait for the final whistle. They started the fireworks just a little bit early. But most people really wanted it known right the way through that this was Liverpool's title. David, come over here. David, Yvonne, come over here. Right, so it's been 30 years. It's now Liverpool's title. How are you feeling now?
Oh, ecstatic. I'm feeling delighted. Mostly for them lads from the mid-30s to the late 30s who cannot remember Liverpool winning the league. They've seen UEFA Cups, Super Cups, FA Cups, European Champions. But for this, I'm so made up for them lads. I've seen it all before. He's seen it all before. Yeah. But now these lads in the mid to late 30s, they've seen it now.
And all the kids as well. There are kids out tonight that, it's the first time they've seen it as well.
Yes. Yeah. I've got my great-granddaughters there, my granddaughters there, and it's just so amazing.
Now, we've also got someone over here that's a bit interesting for you. We've got John Barnes. It is the John Barnes, but not the John Barnes that perhaps you're thinking of, Steve. John, you're 71 years old. You've seen quite a few of the titles in the past.
I've seen Liverpool win everything.
Now, 5 championships.
Just special to me, this.
Right, so here we are. Right, so here are the 2 brutal questions, though. Here are the 2 brutal things. First of all, it's a disturbed season. Does that make any difference?
No, we should have had it 1 month ago.
Right.
Only with this lockdown, we did well at it one.
Right, okay, so that's out the way. The second thing, of course, is that you've won it by not playing.
Correct. That's brilliant, isn't it? Just shows you how good we are, doesn't it? Just shows you how good we are.
We lost 1 game last season. We've lost 1 game this season. We got the Golden Gloves. We got the Golden Boots. We lost 1 game and didn't win the league. How is that even possible?
And you've done it with quite a few games to spare. So congratulations. Yes. It's going to be a long, long night, isn't it, for you?
Yeah.
It's going to be a long night for me.
Right, we're going to play out. Are you going to sing What's Going On in the Background? Give us a quick rendition. Go on.
Oh, pie.
Well, maybe not. They won't do it. I think they've...
It was good first time round, Nick, don't worry.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was, yeah.
Cheers, Nick. Nick Garnett, who's out and about in Liverpool. John Murray, our correspondent, is at Stamford Bridge. We've also got Stephen Warnock with us as well. Stephen, I mean, the point that was being made there, to come back after what happened last season, to get 97 points and finish second, you could have forgiven Liverpool for feeling sorry for themselves, but they haven't.
Yeah, well, I mean, you think back of the Champions League defeat against Real Madrid, and it spurred the players on. It was almost like they got so close to achieving the goal of winning the Champions League, and the response the next year was incredible. You only have to look at Tottenham and how they suffered so much after losing the Champions League last season to Liverpool. Even Hugo Lloris said it a few weeks ago in an interview. He said, we never recovered from it. We were mentally so scarred from it. Whereas it drove Liverpool on, it drove Jurgen Klopp on. Jurgen Klopp's record in finals wasn't great, and he still had the belief in what he was doing. And it was the same with the process of trying to win the league. The way that City played last year was phenomenal. The run that they went on, and I think Liverpool players actually held their hands up and just said, okay, we've got to get better. And that was the acceptance of it. That was the bar that City had set, and they said, well, we're going to have to raise the bar of our levels and try and reach that. What they've done this year is they've psychologically beat City. They've been so strong. They've been able to grind out 1-0 results. They've been solid defensively. And you only have to watch City tonight to realise why they aren't what they were last year, because of the defensive mistakes that they make. They're an incredible team, passing-wise, expansive football, but defensively, Liverpool have been streets ahead of them, and that's what's won them the title. I remember Jose Mourinho, when he first come to England and people criticised him a little bit, the thing he turned around and says, defences win you titles, and he's been proven correct with Liverpool, the way they have improved. And obviously the signing of Virgil van Dijk and Alisson has been hugely influential on Liverpool winning that title.
Let's bring in Nicola, who's a Manchester City fan. Good evening, Nicola.
Good evening.
What do you want to say tonight?
What I want to say is I was rooting for Liverpool to win the title since the season started, because I lost my son 3 years ago, and he was a Liverpool fan throughout. So from the age of 6 upwards, he's watched every single match. Even when it was on late, I used to say, "Don't matter, we'll see them." And basically, I want to say to Jurgen Klopp, I've never seen a manager like him. He smiles every time. It's just his smile. It really gets me. And I turned to my son's photo tonight and I said, "You did it. Well done." Because I think City did play rubbish tonight. And I mean, being a Man City fan and a Liverpool fan in the same house wasn't good. Yeah, but yeah, my son would be really, really proud of him tonight while he's up in heaven with his granddad.
Nicola, I'm so sorry for your loss, and thank you so much for getting in touch with us tonight. And I mean, what a wonderful story to be able to tell as well, about having that tribute to give. I mean, it must mean everything to you that it has happened now for your son.
Yeah, I mean, I know they couldn't do it while he was alive, but I've got a feeling that he might have said something or did something up in heaven to make him win all these matches. I know he's through to my other son, and he'll say, "No, they'll do it on their own." I said, "No, Josh, you've got something to do with this." But yeah, he died on his son's birthday, so that was a bit of a damn pod for us, because he was 19 and he died on the 19th of October. And I think that was a bit of a coincidence, like.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Nicola, thank you so much for giving us a call. Really appreciate it. And
yeah, I'm still smiling, even though Man City lost. I still have a smile on my face.
I'm so happy for you that you could get the result that you wanted. Nicola there, who's a Manchester City fan, but supporting Liverpool. George is down in the tunnel for us at Stamford Bridge.
Thanks, Steve. I'm with Emerick, Laporte. Emerick, I mean, not even a Kevin De Bruyne, the free kick could get you out of a hole there. Fair result for you?
Yeah, he's always disappointed. Lose a game. Always we want to play and win. Today it wasn't possible. We tried it until the end, but 10 again 11, it was so tough, and we couldn't win tonight.
That result means Liverpool are champions. They've been the best team, haven't they, in the league this season?
Yeah, of course. They will win this title. Congratulations to them. They do it very well, better than us. And congratulations. We have to improve. The next year maybe we come back to the first place.
Why couldn't you hunt them down like you did so successfully last season?
Can you repeat?
Why couldn't you catch them like you did last season?
Many things. I think the last year was a better team. Saying about the result, no, not like players, because we are the same players, but they are luckiest than us, and maybe for that this year we lose.
And does it hurt to hand over that title that you've had for 2 years?
Yeah, of course. It's never easy to accept that, but this is the truth. And what I said, we will see the next year, the next season, what happened.
And you want that Champions League this season?
Yeah, of course. This is one of our objectives. We know it's very difficult, but we will fight until the end.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful call from Nicola, a Manchester City fan who was cheering on Liverpool tonight. You can give us a call, 08085 909 693. Shush has done that. Shush is a Liverpool fan. Good evening.
Good evening. How's it going?
Well, I'm fine, but how are you?
Yeah, I'm really touched by Nicola on before. I mean, wow, what a story, eh? What a story. I just don't know, couldn't imagine that, going through that at all. Couldn't imagine it. But, we're all having some dark times recently, aren't we, with being indoors and not having much to celebrate and much to sing about. But, we've had Captain Tom Moore and, what's his name, Michael Ball doing You'll Never Walk Alone. And, if you put your ear out to the window, I'm sure you'll be able to hear Liverpool singing it in the streets around Anfield, especially tonight.
Yeah. I mean, there are so many wonderful, uplifting stories as well. And for you, I mean, we were saying with Stephen Warnock just before about how strange it'll be for Liverpool players not to be able to celebrate it together. The same is true of fans. So what are you going to do?
Well, I'm definitely going to have a beer tonight, and when I think I've earned it, it's a bit warm as well outside, so it might help with the humidity. Probably not with the sleep, but then if I'm not sleeping anyway, there's no harm or foul, right?
Sorry, Shush, I've just got to jump in because George is getting more reaction for us from the tunnel at Stamford Bridge.
Thanks, Steve. I'm just down by a pitch side here, about 10 yards away from the dugout as Pep makes his way over to me. Pep, if you wouldn't mind just going there. Thanks very much for joining us on 5 Live. Pep, your thoughts on your performance tonight from your team?
It was good. Unfortunately, we concede some mistakes that punish us a lot, but in general we make a good game with a huge personality. We played, they set up back and used the contact with the first players and quality players they have.
You know that result means Liverpool are champions. Would you like to congratulate them?
Yeah,
what would you like to say?
Well deserved.
You've been impressed with them this season?
Yeah, they played an incredible season. Yeah, they play really good.
Why couldn't you hunt them down as much as you did last season when you put the pressure on so strong in the second half?
Well, 2 seasons ago, we were 100 points and they finished more than 25 points behind. So this last season they recovered that distance, and this season they won the distance. So I have to learn for this season and improve for the next one.
What have you said to your players in the dressing room? They must be very disappointed to lose their title.
I didn't say much because now we are spread out, so we have to use 2 or 3 locker rooms. We cannot be together for the social distance. So the match we have time tomorrow to talk about this.
All preparations now on the Champions League and FA Cup?
FA Cup especially. This week is important, and after the rest of the season in the Premier League, but of course 8th of August against Madrid.
And you want the Champions League for yourself this season, the big one?
Now is Newcastle.
And Aguero, when will he be back?
It was a surgery and we have a long time. Maybe in the Premier League is over, maybe, you know, in the Champions League, Madrid will be tied. No, exactly right now, I don't know.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cheers, George. Pep Guardiola there live on 5 Live Sport. No question time, extra time tonight, just to let you know. So when Adrian Chiles joins us and then takes over on 5 Live, he will be staying on this incredible story. Thanks to Shush for calling us as well on 08085 909 693. That's the number to get in touch with us. Liverpool fans, give us a call. Tell us how you are celebrating your first league title in 30 years. Stephen Warnock, Karen Carney, John Murray are still with us. I'll read a few more messages here, guys. Connor, I'm only 24. Can't believe I'll be seeing a Premier League trophy at Anfield. George says, I'm sat next to my boyfriend James in the car who's driving and he is speechless. I'm in the doghouse because he couldn't watch the game on TV because we were out at friends for a dinner. So please give him a shout out. He's so happy that we've won. James, let Georgia out of the doghouse. Oliver says, rename the Cop End the Klopp End. And that's the thing, John Murray, and we spoke about this a little bit before the game tonight. He's been there a long time already, but this does feel like a beginning still, in a way.
Yeah, and the feeling was, even though it was the first trophy for Liverpool under Klopp last year, when they finally got their hands on